was gonna say, I always keep an eye on the toilet.
Yeah, I know. I do that too because every now and then it does stick.
Yep.
And I think we might need to, well, by we, I mean me, might need
And
to.
we've replaced that thing how many times and it still sticks.
I know, but it is as it is. SOCKS. Okay, so all right, let me organize some of this mess here so I know what I'm dealing with. Uh, mm, let's see. Wow, okay. Daniel, what's up? Yeah, Friday. Of course, you know, when you're retired, Friday doesn't actually mean anything really. Kind of wild, right? It's like, Friday. For me, Friday means chores. Except today I fell asleep. And so now tomorrow I got to wake up and extra early and do chores. I got this picture of this woman looking really mad. And it's like when you're expecting an apology from your husband, but you hear sensors online, engines online, weapons online, all systems optimal, which for those of you who don't know is obviously a Mech Warrior reference because in the Mech Warrior games at the beginning of every battle, you always hear like Saturday afternoon in Australia. Well, how are you doing, Ear Trumpet? I've seen you around on other places. Uh, like some of my other friends, I still refuse to believe Australia is real. I think you guys actually live somewhere in South America and you're just pulling a fast one on us. I could be wrong, but feels that way sometimes. And of course, that's a joke because, come on, I love Crocodile Dundee and all that. Actually, I think my favorite Australian actor may have been the guy in Tropic Thunder. What was his name? Something Lazarus. Yeah, he was really good. I never seen anybody play the role of grizzled black sergeant in Vietnam quite as well as he did. So I am trying to organize this huge mess, which wasn't a mess but became a mess when I opened up a box of Reaper miniatures. Now my Australian friend over here, he probably has much easier access to Empress miniatures because they're out of Australia, and they make a lot of really, really good stuff. Really good stuff. Yeah, the world's greatest confidence trick, right? I mean, yeah, but I that always kind of bothers me a little bit because when I go online and I look at what Empress has, and I've even ordered some of their stuff, but it's just like, oh, why do you got to be on the other side of the world? I wish you guys were here, but it was the same way because I bought a shit ton of the Other Worlds miniatures, and that's in the UK. It's like this is the United States of America. I've been told, having lived here, that we are the greatest country on the planet. That's what we've been told. So why don't we make the best miniatures? I feel like something's not adding up. Yeah. Somebody needs to open up a studio somewhere in America and start cranking out top notch miniatures. I guess War Games Atlantic, kind of. But to be fair, I think they're a British company again. So I talk a lot about miniatures, unless you've got something else you want to talk about, in which case we'll talk about that. You know, the postage is prohibitive. to a point, but I really, really wanted the figures I got from Empress, so I paid it. You go to bed, dork. Um, but I'll tell you one thing that's kind of wild is the postage to Australia is not much more than the postage to Canada, and Canada is literally across the border. Yeah, I've heard about that. I've heard about that. My Canadian friends always tell me how if they order a book that costs $30 in America, they end up paying like $30 in postage too. It's like that is not fair. That's just not fair. I don't like that. I mean, how is it that you can be living in Buffalo, New York, send something to Florida for like barely anything, but if you want to send it directly across the border, it's gonna cost you $30. It's like, who come up with this logic? I was in bed, LOL. I know. And I actually was like thinking, should I just let him sleep? And I said, no, I'm gonna send him a message. I haven't really talked to him that much. So yeah, blame yourself, my brother. After I streamed earlier today, I went and laid down and I crashed out until like 15 minutes ago or something. And now I feel a little tired, but not super tired. So I figured, well, I can lay in the bed and stare at the ceiling for a while, or I can get up and work on getting some of this cleared off. Cold Iron Skillet made another image of me with I think it's with a Warhammer mech. And I don't know where he come up with the paint scheme for that Warhammer, but now I want to take one of the Warhammers I haven't painted yet and paint it like that. Because the paint scheme he come up with, which is like all purple and white, is super cool. Super cool. Looks super house-meric. And I can dig that. But yeah, I've been picking up more than ever in my life. I have been buying barbarian type figures. And this one, I've got one right here that is literally called a Hyborian barbarian. It's a female, right? And since I'm playing Hyperborea, that just fits right in. You know what I mean? And I picked up a couple of rogue types for the lady in the group that plays the Amazon. And I think the one I'm going to go with is this one right here. I've already primered her up and everything, but I'm not sure what her character's hair color is. That's the only reason I haven't painted her. But I like how she's got like that big curved dagger in her hand. Like, and she looks like she's getting ready to creep up on somebody and take their split their wig, as they say. So I do know that bit of hair falling over the top there is going to be white because of the curse she went through that turned the shock of her hair bone white. And that's never going away. So, that's just something she's going to deal with. The fact that she was so effed up that it turned her hair. And that can happen. That's like a thing that actually does happen sometimes. Now, I thought I had ordered more of the gargoyles, but I don't know. I'm not really seeing them. So what have you been doing all day since the last time we spoke, brother? The Abominable? Oh, God. Please don't let this be someone's penis. Oh, you changed the Abominable. Oh, man. Thank God. It's not somebody's penis. That's all I'm saying.
I will come on and visit for a minute or two.
Huh?
I said I will come on and visit for a minute or two
And I will appreciate every second of it.
because you're my brother and I love you. Hello, everybody.
I don't think there is anybody. I think it's just me and you.
Cal's in the chat.
Who?
Cal, my ear trumpet.
Is that Cal? That ain't Cal. Cal lives in freaking North California. This guy said Australia.
I was wondering because my ear trumpet I thought was Cal. No, he's
No, Cal's new handle is Poor Orc Child. I was born a
yeah.
poor orc child.
Oh, my ear trumpet. I remember you and I haven't seen you in forever.
You
And
remember?
James,
Because I don't. There's James, Big
yeah,
James Lowry. How you doing, bro?
yes, I remember my ear trumpet. He's on a lot of other shows.
I think I've seen my ear trumpet on Max's
And Double
chat
D.
before, maybe Double D's. I'm not sure. I mean, I don't care. Anybody who wants to hang out and whatever they want to talk about, I'm okay with.
No,
And if you guys don't come up with whatever you want to talk about, then you're going to get to hear me go on about how much I love Hyperborea and miniatures. Because that is pretty much what I think about these days, nonstop.
my ear trumpet is cool people.
Yeah. I wonder if that's the James from Australia on an
Yeah,
alternate.
that would be James L.
Yeah, James L's a good guy. I like him quite a bit, actually.
I like everybody.
I try to.
Me too.
I mean, like, I don't have any enemies, I don't think. There's some people I'll talk a little shit about, but I don't think they're enemies. I think that sometimes people do shit and I talk a little shit back. But yeah. Yeah, you know, life's too short to carry grudges on and so forth.
Yeah.
You know. Unfortunately, some people, man, they can't let shit pass. And it's sad. I don't remember ordering 4 packs of spiders, like spider swarms.
But you probably did.
No, I'm not doubting for a second that I actually did order them. I'm just saying I don't remember. See, I have this problem where I wake up in the middle of the night and go online and order shit.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure I'm actually all the way awake when I do it.
Dude, I don't think you're all the way awake most of the time. You're like me.
See, I wish I could argue with you about that shit, but I really can't. So I'm just going to just sigh deeply and let it go.
I'm not saying that that's a bad thing because I'm the same.
So I ordered another pack of Draugr, which is stupid because I'm looking up here and guess what's right up there?
A bunch of Draugr.
20 Draugr, already painted and ready to go. So it's like, why? I don't know. But I did. Okay.
Because that's my brother.
Yeah. Yeah, and I just realized opening up these miniatures that I've ordered doubles of miniatures I already had.
Ugh.
But I guess I forgot I had the Jason and the Argonaut figure.
Oh, that's cool.
But then again, I mean, you know, a Greek warrior.
Well, yeah, no shit.
You can always use a Greek warrior for something, right?
Yeah, and our Hyperborea game got a lot of Greek weirdos in it.
So, I mean, you got to remember, even you as a Hyperborean, your language is a Hellenistic language. You use the Greek alphabet.
Yeah, because everybody used the Greek alphabet back in the day.
Right, so that makes sense. But anyway, so I got these wolves, and I'm not 100% sure if they're in a monster manual or anything, but check these bad boys out.
Those are cool.
You see how many they got legs like a wampus cat.
Yeah, they got 6 legs.
Yeah, like a wampus cat.
I've got 2 wolves inside of me. One's retarded and the other one's retarded.
Oh yeah. From the psychology, you know, you got to be careful which wolf you feed.
Yeah.
It's like both of my wolves are idiots. So I mean,
My wolves take the short bus and eat applesauce.
but those are called apparently by Reaper blood wolves. I don't know what blood wolf is, but it looks like some creepy shit to throw on a bunch of people trying to travel through
You know what a
hyperloop.
blood wolf is?
Do I?
It's that it's that six-legged wolf you just showed me.
Oh, well, you gotta be like that, dude. Come on, that was no help.
Well, I'm giving you
I was
all
hoping
the
you were going to be.
information.
I was hoping you were going to say something like, "You know what blood wolf is, bro? It's like," and then you was going to tell me, and I was going to be like, "Oh shit, yeah, I know now."
I'm just giving you all the information that I have about it.
Which is, it's that thing that you showed me. Now I did get some friends for you to play with eventually. Killer apes.
Nice. I love them.
Yeah, like big gorillas that like the flesh of humans to eat. Sometimes they live in caves.
Did
Sometimes
you
they're.
hear about that orangutan in Africa?
Did I hear about the orangutan in Africa? I didn't even think orangutans were from Africa. I thought they were from India.
A big ass orangutan in Africa. It might have been India. This big ass orangutan assaulted 6 men and struggle cuddled 5 of them.
Well, let me tell you something. I'm going to automatically blame the men
Yeah.
because orangutans are generally some of the coolest critters running around anywhere. So if that orangutan went off of his gourd and started doing crazy ass shit, my first thought is, what were those dudes doing?
What was that orangutan thinking? He struggle cuddled them.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't want to talk about that part. But
But, but
orangutans aren't like humans. They
yeah,
they're
but
not they're not sick bastards the way
the
humans
point
are.
is, there was 6 of them. So I'm wondering why they said only 5. Did the other one consent?
Why they wait their turns? You think while it grabbed one, the other five would be like, "F that right there," and
Did,
just take
did,
off.
did the 6th one consent?
It was like I would have been like, "Bro, I love you. Bye." I mean, because you know how strong an orangutan is. I mean, that thing
Yeah,
could grab you and just break any part.
bro, I love you, but if that was going to happen to
I'll
us,
catch you at the house with a bag of frozen peas.
I would trip you to run away.
I know we're joking, but anyway, no, I didn't hear about it. Where do you even hear about that?
It was on a news article on Insta.
Oh, well, yeah, you should believe everything you hear on Instagram.
Yeah, still, it's hilarious.
I mean, an orangutan, they're generally like super cool.
Yeah,
Plus, the good news is, of all of the primates on the planet, like humans are the only ones that have anything even resembling a sizable penis.
yeah.
Like mountain gorillas and shit are lucky if they can pop a 2-inch bone. It's kind of weird, because they're so freaking massive. You would think they'd be packing heat, and no, they're not.
It's my they say people are always like, man, I wish I had a big old horse penis, right? But if you add up weight to size, we're bigger than horses.
This is a weird conversation, though. Let's move on.
Yeah, I have a urology appointment next
So
week.
you've got that on your mind. I get it.
Yeah, I
But
gotta go.
regardless, no, I don't want to talk about that anymore. That ran its course pretty quick, I think.
Yeah, it did.
But
Well, you're wearing the right shirt for it.
oh, politically incorrect. Do you know what this shirt actually says?
What?
Politically incorrect,
Nice.
and then it's got the schema from orthodoxy
Yeah,
because
it's not only
orthodoxy is politically incorrect.
that's not only from Orthodoxy. That's also the Redemptorist Catholic symbol.
Yes, I know. I remember you got me that crucifix that time from there when you're thinking about becoming a monk. But anywho, I mean, most of the guys who check into this channel aren't big fans of religion. even though they get hit with it quite often. And it's too bad because honestly, when somebody tells me, I'm not a fan of religion, my first thought is why? I mean, like, what is it about religion that bothers you?
I'm going to hit people with religion as much as possible because I like all these idiots and I want to see them in heaven with me.
It's just, you kind of have to ask yourself though. It's like, but then again, you know how I am. I'll conversate with anybody about damn near anything.
That's the truth.
I'm not like I'm not put off by much. Now I got these giant spiders here, and I've probably got so many giant spiders in my collection. But these ones look like, and I don't know if Ear Trumpet hung around. I think he might have tuck off. These ones look like Australian funnel web spiders. So I had to have them. I mean, they're all like up with the big ass fangs. So I'm like, oh yeah, I have to have that. Because I mean, I don't know if you've ever like seen one of those things on TV.
Yes.
Yeah, the funnel web spider is a scary looking spider, and they get pretty big. Not as big as ours, tarantulas and shit like that, but they certainly get big. For the Ethiopian Bible, my mom owns that, and she's read it. And basically, the Ethiopian Bible is the Orthodox Bible if you add the Book of Enoch. And all about the Watchers and everything like that.
Yeah, that's a very old Bible.
It is a very old Bible, and a lot of people consider the Ethiopian Church to be, if not directly part of the Orthodox religion, like very, very close. Very close. So, yeah. However, I will warn you, if you've never had Ethiopian food, you don't want it.
They haven't had it either.
Nah, I mean, there's an Ethiopian restaurant in Orlando, and all they serve is like a platter of mushed beans, different kinds of beans, and they're all spicy as shit. And then you get some flatbread because it's basically like a hummus situation. And apparently that's what they eat. And I'm like, well, this sucks.
Well, for a long time in the 80s, they weren't eating anything.
Dude, they were eating something because it's like they always say about these people all starving to death in Africa, but the population of Africa just keeps going up.
Yeah.
So somebody's eating something. Like those warlords in Liberia, they're eating each other. So,
Man, that's weird.
What? Cannibalism?
Yeah.
It's a thing that still happens in some parts of the world.
Yeah, it's still weird.
I would agree. I mean, some of our ancestors were cannibals.
Yeah, it's freaking weird.
I mean,
just because a lot of people have done it doesn't mean it's not weird.
Well, I'm not sitting here saying we need to go out and find somebody and barbecue them or anything. Get out of here.
I'm not down for no long pork.
What I am saying is that cannibalism is a lot more common than you want to think.
Yeah.
Like historically speaking, in the history of humanity.
What really messes people up is when a person eats a human brain. If you're gonna got a leg or a brain, I'm gonna go for the leg.
Well, that's where you get that disease that's like mad cow disease, but for humans.
Yeah.
Because apparently a human eating human flesh causes lesions in your brain that cause you to go insane. And that's the same thing that happened with mad cow, because idiots stopped grinding up cow bones and mixing them into the feed for the cows was a great idea. And it turns out it was not a great idea.
That cannibalism, you know what I think about when you say cannibalism? Red Dwarf. Red Dwarf, where they go back in time so they can get some curry and they mess everything up, and Crichton cooks up the fat dude's leg, and like Lister spitting it out, and the cat's just like, and keeps on eating it. Because what the hell does the cat care about eating a dude?
Yeah, the cat is not a human, so
he's a cat.
But I think according to laws in, I'm going to quote from a sci-fi, I don't even remember. Oh yeah, V. The TV show V, in the end, they decided that cannibalism was anytime a sapient creature eats another intelligent sapient
I
creature.
disagree.
Well, I'm sure the aliens from V disagree too, but
It's like if we're playing D&D and we kill an orc, what's to stop me from cooking that bad boy up?
well, it is half picked at least.
No, I'm talking to like regular D&D.
Uh, you're the one that was replaying the Quentin Tarantino scene, though. So all the other players think you're just insane anyway.
No, I mean if we were playing regular D&D and we ran up on a pig face orc, that's just a
There is
freaking
no other kind of work in my mind.
exactly. So that's just like a two-legged orc that or a pig that walks on two legs. It's got ham and ribs right there.
I'm going to disagree with you on this one, buddy. I mean, but you know my rule. I don't eat anything with a thumb. If it's got a thumb, I'm not eating it. That's
Yeah.
just how it is, you know.
Well,
So
and
I'm
roll.
not
And
eating a
roll.
raccoon. I'm not eating a monkey. None of that shit.
But in D&D, I eat an orc. I don't care.
Ah,
And I'm not Hyperborean, so the other races,
just
they're
because
just
you're Hyperborean does not mean you're cannibal unless you worship Yog. In which case, yeah, you could be a cannibal. But that's evil as shit. So, you know, enjoy your cannibalism and being evil until someone kills you, or maybe not. You know, I mean,
And we already killed a bunch of Yoggers.
well, that's who you were fighting with, yeah. The whole last month, right? And we're playing tomorrow night, so
Good.
try to stay out of the hospital or whatever.
Even if I'm in the hospital, I'm still playing.
Yeah.
I got my laptop.
Well, as long as you can log into Discord, then you're good, golden, man.
Yeah, it's the
But
reason I have
yeah,
a
you guys
laptop instead
left
of a
off
Discord.
back at town, didn't you?
Yeah, no,
Or did you go to the beginning of the dungeon? And
we're still in the dungeon. We're going to try that Cthulhu room again.
no, you had already passed by the Cthulhu temple and went to the other end of the dungeon.
Yeah, we're
So
going to go
when
back.
you entered, there was a right and a left, and you went left, and now you're going right.
Yeah, I said we should go back to the Cthulhu room before we go down into the Underdark.
But that's not what you guys agreed on. And
Okay.
no, not the Underdark. Remember, you were in the Underdark, and you all decided to run.
Now we were in the Underdark, and I said, let's go back and rest and get our spells back and stuff before we do that. And before we do that, we can try the Cthulhu room, and that's where we left off.
We'll see. We'll see.
Okay. Yeah, you.
I mean, I took notes. I kind of think I remember where you are, but
Well, you could have taken notes, and everybody could have ignored me like they normally do.
I try my best to make sure that I spend equal time on the online players as well as the players at the temple
I know it's just hard.
or at the table. And let me tell you, that is not an easy thing to do.
No, it's not.
Because when you got somebody's little voice coming out of the computer box versus someone sitting directly across from you yelling, it's kind of easy to forget about the poor guys that are trying to log in and play online. So yeah, I'm trying to be better about that.
Now you're doing as well as you can. It's just a pain in the ass.
Yeah, it's not easy, and I do wish you were able to be down here at the table, but things are as they are. Isn't that what they say?
Yeah, it
It
is
is what it is, man. It just is what it is. So I bought a bunch of the Reaper CAV miniatures because they have like their own miniature game called Cav. And what I bought though was just the vehicles, and they're the same scale. And I mean, like, so a vehicle like this is basically just a scout vehicle with a freaking some kind of AC on it, like an AC5 or whatever. And while I'm a stickler to no custom mechs in the game, I don't mind using any vehicle to stand in for any other vehicle. I mean,
Yeah.
as a matter of fact, if I could find a huge collection of those old clicky Mech Warrior, you remember the clicky ones?
Yeah.
If I could find a shit ton of those vehicles, I would buy them. I mean, I still have the medical one, like that truck with all the medic stuff on it,
Yeah.
and I love it. And there was a command one too that was really good.
I don't like vehicles in MechWarrior.
Well, if you're playing Alpha Strike or MechWarrior using BV or money, vehicles tend to be shitty but cheap. Because you have to remember, if you run up on a vehicle with a flamer, you're pretty much, that's a dead vehicle. If you run up and kick a vehicle, that's probably a dead vehicle. Anything you do to a vehicle could be a dead vehicle because even though you take armor off, you always roll to see if you crit.
Yeah.
And that represents the fact that you might have punched through the armor and, whatever, right?
It's
Whereas
like the video.
a mech, as big as it is about 50% empty. So when you take 10 points to somewhere, even if it doesn't remove all the armor, you can imagine that round just went right through the armored leg or something. Because the only thing in there is the skeleton and the mimer.
In the video game, if you walk up and step on a tank with your mech, it's dead.
As it should be. I mean, because and that makes sense since a stomping attack on a tank would be an attack on the top armor, and pretty much nothing has much armor on the top.
Especially
if you hit a vehicle, it's pretty much going to be screwed,
Yeah, especially if it's like even a 40-ton mech is going to just crush it.
Yeah, that's how I kill. When I play the Battletech game we play, a lot of times you can run up on the Demolisher with the Spider and just spray that bitch down with flamers and machine guns, and that thing will die.
Yeah, I always just run up and stomp on them.
What's the mech I'm thinking about? I love so much. It's full of flamers and machine guns. It's like a 30-ton mech. Firestarter. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm not going to go on about it, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And yeah, you run up and just hose down some mech with flamers or some vehicle with flamers. Generally speaking, that thing is going to die. And that is good. But the problem with, as I've said before, the problem with Reaper is that their CAV line is like out of stock always. And they have a lot of really good like models that could stand in for aerospace models.
Yeah.
And helicopters that could stand in. Because I've got helicopters, but I've only got the one model, the Warrior, right? And they've got some that could represent other stuff, like the Kharkov or whatever that I like so much. The tilt rotor one that can carry a shit ton of infantry. And they've got a hover vehicle. I mean, and by hover, I mean the fans, that would work great for like a Maxim, but they do not,
ever run them.
Well, I don't know why I'm complaining really, because I have all those tanks in metal. But the problem is the old metal is 6 mil and all the new stuff is 8.
Yeah.
So,
Brother, I'm going to sleep.
All right.
I love you.
I love you. I'm just sitting here putting together whatever the hell this is, some kind of 6-wheeled thing with a rotary cannon.
Nice. I'll see you tomorrow.
You will, maybe. Well, you definitely will, because we'll be playing the role-playing game.
Yep. Good night, Bubba.
Good night. I need to figure out, the girl, one of the girls at my table, what color her hair is, so I could paint this miniature and have it be accurate, But, oh yeah, man. I've been picking up miniatures that I never thought I would ever need. What's up, Chebs? For a second, I thought you had Porkins as your like avatar or whatever. Which, can you imagine being the you're the X-wing pilot that's slightly overweight or maybe a lot overweight, and they call you Porkins. It's like, thanks, guys. Bunch of assholes. I mean, that's like, you might as well just gave my call sign as you know, like instead of Porkins, why don't you just give me fat ass as a call sign, you know? Red 3, fat ass. What are you doing over there? You know, it's like, damn. But I'll tell you what, Star Wars has managed to inadvertently be like, I watched the prequels and I can never and will never forget when they went to the junkyard to try to buy stuff, and the alien there was such a character of like a Jewish merchant. And I'm watching this show with, you know, me, who at the time was a practicing conservative Jew, and my dad, who also at that time was a practicing conservative Jew. And that guy comes out there with the big nose and it starts playing klezmer music. Now, for those of you who don't know, klezmer music is music that they play at Jewish weddings and shit. And it's like, your Jedi mind tricks not work on me. I love money. And it's just like, oh my God. That's a little on the nose, you know. Yeah, I know about that call sign shit because my nickname in the fire department was the Wizard, because I worked with a bunch of freaking rednecks, and when they found out I played and ran D&D, I immediately become the Wizard. And they did not mean it like, oh, that guy's a wizard. No, they were making fun, but I was like, whatever, I don't give a shit. My Puerto Rican buddy Miguel, like everybody called him the Mexican. So, I mean, you know, like I'm going to be upset. You know, a lot of people had a lot worse names. So I'm like, yeah, I'm skating right through. I'm the Wizard, you know? I actually sent a text to my platoon sergeant from when I was in Iraq today. We still keep in touch now. And that was nice. I never realized how much older he was than me, though. I'm like, so, you know, and he's telling me stuff. And I'm like, how old are you, man? And he's like 70 something. I was like, what? When I was like 18 and assigned to the platoon, I mean, I thought that dude was like maybe 25. I didn't know he's like in his 30s and 40s, but yeah, Porkins. Poor old Porkins, man. He gets whacked right off the bat. That's not right. Those were good times. The original Star Wars. Yeah, those were good times. I picked this guy up mainly because one of the cities my players hang out in a lot is surrounded by swamp. And I'm thinking this is actually kind of terrifying, you know, a gigantic snapping turtle. And this looks like one of them you might find like in Mississippi and Alabama, those alligator snapping turtles. And those things already get 3 feet, you know, the shell, 3 feet. They get huge, right? But this guy's like 13 feet long. I mean, he'd snap something right off of you. You know, you wouldn't like it. And then, as I was telling my brother, even though I have plenty of giant spider miniatures, this is like a giant funnel web. So I had to have it. I mean, you know, like the Australian funnel web. Yeah, I had to have that. I mean, that's just whoever designed that knew, like when they were designing that figure, they were like, you know, James is going to buy at least 2 of these, and they were right. They were right. because I did buy at least 2. And then I bought a bunch of barbarians because that just makes sense in Hyperborea. You know, there's just barbarians everywhere. You know, between the Norse, the Picts, the Celts, the Cimmerians, you know, there's just a lot of barbaric societies running around that world. And I love it. So here we've got what they call a lion tank, but what I see as either a Rommel or a Patton, because that's what it looks like. It could be a Rommel or a Patton tank. And I have some of the Bautech Rommel Pattons, so we'll see how they scale great. One thing I'm going to have to do, though, with all these Reaper vehicles is put them on hex spaces, because all of the new Bautech vehicles are on hex spaces. So there's that. But luckily, my dear friends, I have a bunch of bases because I buy bases on Amazon from a company called Proxy Miniatures. And I don't think they make any miniatures, but they do sell some really good bases really cheap. So if any of you guys are ever like, damn, I need some bases, look up Proxy Miniatures, man. They like this is a Proxy Miniatures base. They're solid. They're just solid plastic. They got a little lip on them. And then, you know, you've got your pill-shaped cavalry base, which personally I prefer. I mean, it works for rank and flank games. It works for role-playing games. And this game that I'll be putting together someday, hopefully, Baron's War, the cavalry in that are all mounted on the lozenge type bases. So, you know, they don't use the old standard 25 by 50 square. Paint more vehicles for Bautech. Yeah, same, Chebs. Like I was actually painting Bautech miniatures yesterday. I painted up one of my Zeuses that I've had laying around because somehow I've got a ton of Zeuses, which means whatever pack the Zeus came in, there must have been a miniature in there that I really wanted. So I bought multiples, and I know it wasn't the Zeus as much as I actually like the Zeus. So I kind of just did it in this kind of, you know, just like a temperate forced camo. And then I'll have to go back and do all the different metallic bits better, make sure I got them. And then I will stick some numbers. I don't know what house I want to make this, or if I want to make it like a mercenary company or something. Because I have all of the transfers I bought from the Bautech camo whatever thing. And yeah, I picked up a bunch of that. So that guy was painted normally. Now, this is a paint thing I do when I show off people. Sometimes I used to have vehicles I need to make, or videos I need to make more. When I want to paint a miniature, a Bautech figure, really fast, I tend to start with black. And then I just dry brush it. And then I do like the darker tone, and then a much lighter dry brush of the medium tone, and then I do an even lighter dry brush of the high tone. And then I just do the metallics and stuff. And I mean, once you know how to dry brush, if you paint one of these guys black and you do the dry brush, the panels will sort themselves out. You know what I mean? So you get that good look where you've got the mech and you can see the black inside the panels. And then I just go back and paint whatever should be metallic, which is mostly, you know, like in some of the joints, the hip joints and stuff. See, another Zeus, though. You see what I mean? It's like, how did I get so many Zeuses? I wonder if the Zeus came in the same pack as like the Marauder did. Because I absolutely love the Marauder. Love that mech. even though the standard Marauder is basically junk, I still really just like it, you know. So yeah, here is a Marauder that I've done in black because I'm getting ready to use the dry brush technique. And I don't know if I'm going to go camo with that guy or dry brush it up to white and then do purple, um, like do like purple panels on it here and there and make it look like one of the Merrick Militia uh, mechs. You know, I mean, Merrick Militia is, I mean, the Merrick House Merrick is my jam. So, you know, nobody should be surprised by me painting stuff purple or white. Of course, one of the Merrick units, their actual official paint scheme is just black. And what I'll do is I'll paint the mech black, and then I'll use Vallejo's German gray black, which is a very, very dark gray. And that's what I use to highlight the black so that it looks black, but you can still see highlights and stuff. Oh yeah, if you're playing House Steiner, man, yeah, the Zeus is like their main thing. You know, it's like this is House Steiner. We built the Zeus. This is our mech. Whereas for me, playing House Merrick, House Merrick has basically the best model of Marauder, in my opinion, because the House Merrick Marauder drops the PPCs and just goes with like a shit ton more armor and heat sinks and large lasers. So, yeah. Yeah, I agree about parade colors. Sometimes doing your mech up in parade colors, it looks really cool. And there are some units that will fight in parade colors, but I think most of the time, unless you're Comstar, like you said, um, I think most mercenaries and stuff like that would probably rather paint their mech up to match whatever terrain they're fighting in. But you know, that's just a thought. You know, it means nothing. And like I said, that one Merrick militia that just paints their mechs black and has like a Saint Michael, you know, diving out of heaven with a flaming sword as their symbol. Um, that's probably just the colors they use. So, you know, uh, also for Merrick, since during one of the succession wars they conquered the Tikhonov Protectorate, you can paint your miniatures up like old school Sino-Soviet colors, uh, because yeah, they took that from House Lao in one of the succession wars. That's if you follow the lore at all, that's when House Lao introduced the cataphract, because they basically had no heavy mechs left. So they were like, all right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a Marauder's legs and just throw this thing on it. And so they kind of, House Lao just made a Franken mech and threw it out there. And it turned out, as we all know, that the Cataphract's actually a decent mech, you know. But yeah, I'll say that, no problem. Your standard Cataphract is a decent mech. It runs hot, so you got to always keep an eye on that heat gauge, but decent mech. And I mean, it comes in at what, 70 tons? So the amount of armor and the amount of damage a Cataphract can put out at 70 tons is way greater than like a 3R Marauder ever can, you know. So you get to wreck, yeah. Yeah, because Merrick was basically running amok in the Capellan Federation, and they were just throwing together whatever they could, and so you end up with a cataphract. But what's the other mech that they're really known for? It's like a 45-ton mech, and it's like super super common with the Capellans, and it's actually a really good mech. You know what? I'm asking that question when I literally have the 3025 old school TRO right here. I think it's got a Vindicator. Yeah, in the BattleTech game that Hairbrained whatever put out, there's a scenario where you go in and you can actually take a no, it's not the Whitworth. But yeah, there's a scenario where you can go in and take out a there it is, the Vindicator. Yeah. It's for the tonnage, I mean 45-ton mech, this thing has a lot of armor and it can lay a whipping on your ass too with that PPC. It's kind of like a smaller, cheaper Griffin. Yeah, a lot of that from the lore. Yeah, the Raven's a great mech for a light mech. See, and there's a guy named Raven who knows way more about the lore than I do. And a lot of the reason they started switching over to being more like Chinese, plus I think one of the royal family chicks was worshiping Kali or some shit like that. And that's because the Tikhonov Protectorate, which is on the north side of the Capellan Confederation or whatever, was all Russian. And Merrick took it. So they become just more ethnically homogenous as Chinese, you know. But that's fine, you know. That's why I don't know if you ever go to Max Lau's his channels, but I like to drop over there every now and then and say hi and then make fun of him for being a Capellan. You know, it's kind of a thing we do. And now I like to go over to Razor Fist and listen to him and be like, House Merrick forever, baby. Because it's just a thing we do. Right? But I will tell you this, Chubbs. My brother didn't put me on Front Street. I don't know why, because usually he does. My first house that I ever painted a miniature for and played was Steiner. And then what happened is I started reading the lore more. And I was like, actually, I think I kind of feel that draw to Merrick. So before I'd even played this game for a full year back in the 80s, I swapped over and went for House Merrick. But there was a time, though, for a little while where I had that Steiner patch. And, you know, I was like, yeah, House Steiner. But, yeah. And I was like, nah, I'm going for Merrick. They're cooler. Now, I'll tell you what. This is a CAV miniature from Reaper. But if you squint your eyes hard enough when you look at this thing, you can tell that they basically copied a Tiger II, or a Great Tiger, Grand Tiger, whatever the Germans call the damn thing. I mean, this is obviously a Tiger II. But I don't care. I'll use it as a Rommel or some other thing. I mean, that's the thing I keep saying with vehicles. Even though I don't like subbing a mech for another mech unless it's just a model situation. Like I'll use a 3R Marauder to represent a 3L or 3M, but vehicles, I'm not such a stickler on. You know, it's like if it's got a turret and a barrel and it's kind of big, then we can call it whatever it looks most like. And I'd say this guy right here is definitely packing like an AC-20. So it might be a patent or a good stand-in for a patent. Yeah, these are from Reaper. And the thing is, see, like here is the official Battletech figures, and here's the Reaper figures. So basically, they're the exact same scale. They're 8 mm. So unfortunately, these don't come with the hexes. But like I said, fortunately, I have a shit ton of the Proxy Gamer uh, bases that I've bought off of Amazon. So, you know, like this guy right here is on a Proxy base because this is actually a 3D print I did. But it looks pretty much identical to, you know, the official and way better than the metal ones I got. So yeah, I'm probably going. I was going to do that guy camouflage, but the more I look at him, the more I'm thinking like mostly white but purple. Or I could just leave it black and paint the weapons up and just throw that Saint Michael with the flaming sword on the side of it and say it's that Merrick unit that paints all their mechs black. You know, a lot of options there, right? A lot of options. But yeah, I have bought quite a few Reaper models lately, mainly because they're cheap and they just keep putting new shit out. And some of the new stuff is exactly the kind of stuff I want. As a matter of fact, I bought 2 miniatures that are absolute nightmare fuel. To me, maybe not to anyone else on the planet, but to me, right here, that is nightmare fuel. Where I live in Kentucky, where the Cumberland rolls through, you always hear stories from people about people getting ate by big ass catfish. And so growing up hearing that, you know, I kind of started believing it. Now I think there's no actual proof that anyone ever got ate by catfish, but I know for a fact that catfish killed someone that my family knew, but that was just because the catfish pulled him in and he drowned, you know. It wasn't that catfish ate him. But you always hear stories from divers that go down into Cumberland talking about catfish. They're like 15 feet long or something, but that could just be all old hillbilly tales. Yeah, they're identical, actually. The scale is identical. Even the mechs. If you look at the Cav mechs, which none of them to me look good. You know, I like the Bautech style. The CAV style is just, I don't know what they're doing. But I did buy some CAV style mechs just to steal missile launchers and stuff off of them. And I put a few of them together. I don't know where they are right now. And they scale perfectly with Bautech miniatures. So if you were wanting to like represent a custom mech, if you ever play where you allow custom mechs or anything, the CAV mechs could 100% be the thing, you know? But yeah, I bought like a few of them just specifically to take the missile pods and shit off of them to make Battletech miniatures look more like the actual model they were, you know. Because like a lot of people don't know, but there is a model of Griffin out there that doesn't even have missile launchers. There's a model of Griffin out there that has the missile launchers moved to the right or the left torso, and so that it don't have every weapon on the right side. Jack Black, 100%. I agree with you. That's why I have 2 huge Cambro bins full of miniatures I'm getting ready to sell to a local comic shop. Miniatures and role-playing books. Because, yeah, you know, I have too many. But a lot of them I use. Like a lot of the minis I show you, if it's not BattleTech, a lot of times I'm showing you miniatures that I even like these Barons War miniatures I will use in D&D games. Oh, that's neat. Yeah, Saint George, who is somehow the patron saint of Russia. I don't know how that happened, but yeah, that's neat. And that's the thing I love about BattleTech is the lore. Like Hungar, who left because he's a sleepy boy, he plays Draconis Combine. And sometimes he'll play like a Draconis unit from like the part of the Draconis Combine that's all like Arabic. And, you know, so we'll paint them all up and have like uh, transfers on them from some of my Arab box sets. Because, I mean, I don't think I've showed it off to you guys in a long time, but I have a huge army for Warhammer uh, Ancients of, and I have the Byzantine book. So I have a Arabic army which could stand in for Turks, and I have my Byzantine army. And you know, when we play the game, though, me and my brother, he always insists on playing the Byzantine. So I never get to play the actual army that I wanted to play, but I don't care. I just like to play, you know. And I will say this Warhammer Ancients is probably the best version of Warhammer Fantasy. People can disagree, and you know what? Their opinions are just as freaking legitimate as mine. But having played pretty much every edition of Warhammer Fantasy until they killed it, uh, and played Warhammer Ancients, I pretty much really like Warhammer Ancients more. You know, probably I guess it's a whole different story when you add different races and magic and stuff, but living the dream. Well, you know, I'm retired. If I didn't have something like this to keep me busy, I don't know what I'd be doing. Running down the street like a maniac, you know. I mean, my wife keeps me pretty much motivated with to do all the honeydews and stuff. There's because when you have a house, there's always it. That's one thing. People who are in apartments, I do hope everyone eventually could buy a house. But I would also, people need to realize when you own a house, it's never ending. There's always something that you got to work on, at least one something, and sometimes maybe 10. So, you know, I would never try to talk anyone out of land ownership at all. I think that's really the American dream is to own your own property. But, oh man, some days it's just like man, I kind of miss when I was renting and when something broke, instead of me having to pay for it, I could call someone else and they would come in and deal with it. Like where I am, when my refrigerator broke, I couldn't call anybody about that shit. I had to go buy a new refrigerator and they're expensive. I was like, damn. As a matter of fact, because we got hit with, you know, some bills today, I had been saving up a ton of money to eventually buy a Scar S1 in 762. Well, all that money's gone. So now I get to start over. I mean, I'll have one eventually, given enough time. You know, maybe this will be the year when I finally get my Scar. Or if I wanted to go the easier way, I could buy Jackal, which is just a Scar made in America. But I don't know. I think the like elitist side of me wants the real deal. The Scar S1, Coyote Brown, 762. So yeah, that's probably where I'm going. But not anytime soon, because like I said, You know, I was saving a little bit here and there, here and there, here and there to buy that rifle, and then boom, a bill hit. It's like, damn it. Hmm. I don't know if Ilya Muromets is a saint. You know what I do know though? There's a model of cataphract that is literally called the Ilya Muromets. Uh, because I had it in the Battletech Online game before they released the clan update, and I quit. So someone on my Discord even posted a thing, and it's like Peter Griffin and his neighbor, Giggity, and it's from the when they were imagining they were like settling the U.S. When Peter's like, "We'll only allow everyone shall be free," and then he's like, "Except," and he starts naming all the races. He's like, "That's right, only white people, and only some white people, right?" Well, they replaced all of that with BattleTech. You know, like Peter's like, I'm here and I'm a gamer and I love BattleTech, except for the Ilkhan age and this age and that age and this age and that age. And it's like 3025 and only some 3025. And they posted it to me because I was like, I just posted back and it was like, yeah, that's true. Those are facts. Now, when I play Alpha Strike, I don't care. You can bring your freaking clan mechs. You can bring whatever the hell you want. I don't care because the point system in Alpha Strike takes care of things. But in classic Battletech, it just was not designed to handle clan mechs versus, 3025 chassis. So, being the old grognards that I am, a lot of the guys are not. But being the grognard I am, I just said, you know what? I will just play 3025 until I die. Like the only TROs I'm interested in are the 3025 one I just showed you, and then the 2750. And, and that's about it. I don't even really partake that much in like 3050 or any of that. Except, like I said, I got to always throw that in. I always got to say, except in Alpha Strike, in which case I will happily meet somebody at the table with my Inner Sphere company and whack that lance of overpriced bullshit they bring. And then make fun of them for playing a bunch of racist eugenicist meatheads that weren't smart enough to do anything but copy Inner Sphere freaking designs anyway. I mean, the clan, versions of like the Jenner and the Griffin and shit. It's like, get effed, man. Those guys were gone for so many hundreds of years, and the best thing they could think of was to copy Marauders and stuff. You'd think they'd come up with some entirely new thing, but no. So yeah, it's the power level. I hate double heat sinks and everything like that. But two, it's just the clan are so obviously not good guys. They are villains. Even the clans that are kind of cool, like the Panther, the Smoke Jaguars, or Clan Wolf, or whatever, at the end of the day, they're still evil. They still believe in enslaving people. They got a caste system. They don't believe in marriage or God or anything like that. They're just a bunch of freaking eugenicists, trying to create the perfect human being by gene splicing and shit like that. I mean, yeah, I'm not interested in that. I'd rather play my House Merrick boys who, if they're not fighting a war with someone else, they're fighting a war with each other. Yeah, they're super evil. It's like, what the hell? And this whole idea, like the whole time they were gone, all they did is sit around and imagine going back and conquering shit. It's like, you assholes should have just went further away, minded your own business, The other thing that's weird, and I understand why they say it happened, since the succession wars were going on and the great houses were really busy like nuking each other into nothing. But that doesn't mean a bunch of starving colonists on some shitty planet somewhere would automatically like develop just so much better technology. There's no reason at all that the clan should have developed better technology. They weren't doing anything that would have, like accelerated the need for greater technology. They could have just been using the mechs they took with them, and that could have just been it. So when they came back, they would have basically been in Starleague era mechs. Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, nostalgia is a big thing. It's like I will admit that Moldvay Cook Basic D&D is not the best basic set ever, but it's my favorite. Why? Because my mom bought it for me when I was like 13. And it was my default game. So when I finally got into Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, anything about AD&D I didn't quite understand, I defaulted to BX. So yeah, and here's the other thing though. A lot of what they describe in the clan books, they stole directly from like Brave New World by Aldous Huxley. Like the fact that they're super promiscuous, but you never sleep with the same person more than X amount of times because that's considered weird. And all the children come out of tubes, and they arrange for which ones are going to be mech warriors, elementals, aerospace fighters, whatever. That's Brave New World from Huxley, like 100%. And yeah, so really no wonder when like some of the clan pilots actually got away from the other clan members and started hanging out with inner sphere people, that they were like, yeah, F the clans. I mean, is there any doubt? If you were raised in that society and then all of a sudden you could just walk into a bar and hang out with people and have a drink and be treated like a normal human being. Yeah. See, when I started playing Chebs, Baldur's Gate didn't exist because I started playing about 83. And D&D was totally different back then, not because of the rules, but because unlike today where we've got the internet and we can go on and like talk shit over about how do you do this and that. Back then, no. The only way you learned like any rules clarifications or anything like that is you had to read Dragon Magazine. And specifically, there was an article in Dragon Magazine written by Gary Gygax that would explain shit that people weren't quite getting. But other than that, it was just you as the DM figuring it out. If you were lucky, there were other DMs and players in your area that kind of knew the rules. And then you guys could all hash that shit out together. But like these modern players that are able to just go online to figure stuff out, we did not have that. And honestly, I'm glad they do, but we did. We just had to freaking figure it out. And yeah, so I kind of wish we had the internet, and been able to just be like, all right, let's go. I don't quite understand the segment system of AD&D. I'll just go online and figure it out. Whereas I was like, I don't understand the segment system of AD&D. I'll just use initiative from BX, because that's just roll dice 6, see who goes first. Simple, easy. And Hyperborea, which does look on the outside an awful lot of like AD&D, uses a lot of systems from like OD&D basic. So I like it, for that. And before Hyperborea, I played a lot of Adventure Conqueror King and Old School Essentials. Which, one thing that's funny to me, and I don't know if it's just because of the age, but a lot of the games that have come out into the OSR, it's like the huge majority of them are based on the Moldvay Cook box set. Oh, geez. AD&D, my favorite character in D&D or AD&D, and people say I'm unimaginative, is a human fighter. Yes, always. And my favorite school of magic, which is that's getting into, is probably evocation, because I think that's the one where you get your fireball. And if I'm playing a mage, I want to fireball everything. Not that I'm a murder hobo. It's just I like the idea of being able to blow shit up. Now, my best friend played a Cavalier from Unearthed Arcana, and he played that character for years and years and years in the campaign I ran. And my brother played a dwarf, and he played that character for years and years and years, to the point that he actually maxed his level out because I used the level restrictions for demi-humans. So then when the human that my best friend was playing died of old age, the dwarf was like 200 years old. He still had like many years to go, and he ended up becoming like the godfather slash adventuring partner of my friend's original character's son. So that become like a multi-generational game. Transmutation is good. I think that's the one where you get like polymorph and all that stuff. Yeah, that's good. See, in Hyperborea, they have a lot of different schools of magic, but they don't work like AD&D. It's more like, well, one, you can be an illusionist, but you can also be a pyromancer, a cryomancer, a necromancer, just a standard old mage, which is the best class, a witch, which is kind of an interesting class. So a lot of times when I talk role-playing games, guys, I hate to let you know, you're going to hear me talk about Hyperborea a lot. Magic Missile is a good spell. The only times I've ever played a mage starting at first level, I always try to get sleep if I can. Because that first 2 or 3 levels, the sleep spell is just endlessly useful. If you have an encounter and there's like 6 orcs, sleep. And sometimes if you're lucky, you could take them all out. Just boom, they're all out, right? And the way when I played the DM ran the game is if somebody's asleep and you decide to attack them, they're dead. The whole coup de grace rule. If a being cannot defend itself from an attack, it automatically dies. So that turns the sleep spell and the hold person spell into an absolute nightmare if you're fighting a monster that has them, because which my group did. They were fighting serpent people, and one of them hold person and got like 3 members of the group, and one of the 3 members was the cleric. So in theory, had the serpent people been able to run up to them and stab them with the daggers, that'd just been them dead, but it didn't work out that way. And then the assassin got turned into a rat, but she ran off and hid. And then the berserker decided to berserk, and then that's when everything went tits up for the serpent people. Because in Hyperborea, berserkers, they're like a ticking freaking grenade. They can kill about anything, right? But after they kill all the enemy, the first thing they do is look for other things to kill, and they have to make a saving throw to not kill you. Right? You can be their friends and be like, yay, we beat the enemy, and they stick a 2-handed axe right in your forehead, and that's just the way it goes. And that's the way it goes. But luckily for them, she made her save and decided not to just massacre the whole rest of the party. And she would have, because by the end of that fight, everyone was effed up. So if she had went like just buck wild on them, maybe the rat would have survived because she's playing a thief subclass and she hid. But, the cleric, the witch, the cryomancer, the scout, and the other warrior, yeah, like the poor scout had 6 hit points. So if the berserker had went off her rocker, she would have one-shot his ass. Create pit. I don't know that I've ever even seen that. In AD&D, I think what you did is you had like a move earth spell or something that you could use to create pits. Legion of Myth. What about them? I mean, they're cool. Oh, because I was forgetting the name of the channel. Is that what you're saying? Because I think I did. And I don't know why, because I've been a member of Legion of Myth's channel for like 33 months. So I think the reason I don't watch the show as much as I used to is I really loved the old school Friday night free-for-alls, and I never missed them. But Max is going with this much more organized, whatever situation, and I mean, as much as I love the guy, it's just not my cup of tea, you know, because, and I don't say this to sound arrogant, but there's no one on Legion of Myth that's going to tell me anything about D&D that I didn't know 20 years ago. You know, the only person I feel like could teach me anything really is Mage's Music about AD&D, because that dude knows AD&D like freaking nobody's business. Dungeon Crawl Classics. I played it. By played, I mean I ran it for a year, and in the end, I stopped running it because the players in my group hated the magic system, which I thought was the best part of the freaking game. So that went the way of the dodo. And after Dungeon Crawl Classics, we just started playing OSC Advanced. And we played OSC Advanced for a while, and then we moved after a while to Adventure Conqueror King, played all the way through the adventures that were put out for Adventure Conqueror King, and then the guys wanted to try something else. So we played Cyberpunk Red for a little while, and that didn't really catch on too much. So we went back to OSC, and then after that, I convinced them all to play AD&D and let me run them through a lot of the AD&D adventures. And so we ended up, eventually, they made it to the point where they went through like White Plume Mountain and Lost Tomb and all that. But, you know, once that campaign ended, what did we play? Dice 6 Star Wars. Played that for a while, and they all got killed. Because for some reason, the players thought they could freaking fight Darth Vader. They couldn't, you know. It's like, you're a wannabe Jedi adept, and you think you're going to fight Darth Vader. Really? That's what you think. And I gave them all of the Gary Gygax things. Are you sure this is what you want to do? And they're like, yeah, we're going. Okay. And like 2 rounds later, they're all just dead. This is like, well, there you go. Yeah, see, the thing with that, Chebs, is that Shadowrun has the way better setting, but Cyberpunk kind of has the better rule system. Now, and this is maybe nostalgia or whatever we can call it. I've ran Shadowrun within the last 5 years. I ran basically it was like a 4-game mini campaign just so that some of my players who had never played Shadowrun could. And because I do that, I'll run like little campaigns just so that people at the table can experience a game they've never played before. But I used Shadowrun 2nd edition with the 2nd edition, like the Native American nations and the Street Samurai catalog and all that stuff. Once you get too far past the 2nd edition timeline, I get to where I'm like, nah. Actually, I can tell you exactly when. When they introduced Technomancers, that's when I introduced myself back to 2nd edition. Because even though Cyberpunk is magic and technology, in 2nd edition, magic and technology don't cross. It's not like you can use magic to interact with technology the way a Technomancer can. Like, you know. I mean, because if you got Technomancers, then what's the point of the Decker? I mean, they might as well just go die somewhere because Technomancers do the decking as good as a Decker. So, yeah, that was my main problem, really. But the Shadowrun setting, I love it. And as much as the rules kind of suck, there are ways to simplify it. And second edition did simplify a lot of stuff. Like in second edition, the number for uh, increases and decreases is just 2 for all the weapons. In first edition, it could be any number from 1 to 5 or some shit. But, you know, they unified a lot of stuff in second edition. And, you know, now I started with first edition. I was stationed at Fort Stewart, Georgia, and there was a game store off base, and I went there. This would be 89, 90, somewhere right in that area. And I saw that Shadowrun book on the shelf, and I was like, oh yeah, I checked this out. And then it turned out that one of the guys in another company, like Charlie Company, or it was either Charlie or it was Echo, it was wherever the mortar guys were, was running freaking Shadowrun. And he, you know, so we would spend the weekend drinking Bush Tall Boys because they're super cheap at the on-base liquor store and playing Shadowrun, playing the hell out of Shadowrun, man. And then when second came out, I jumped on board that one, and I actually really did appreciate a lot of the changes, you know, because a lot of times I don't. Second edition AD&D I didn't care for so much, but again, nostalgia's a bitch. But second edition Shadowrun absolutely was my jam. The thing with Shadowrun, especially Catalyst, is that every edition kind of gets more stupid rules wise. Like starting with even third, it was like every edition from third on added more complexity that you didn't need. And now 6 editions added like this kind of in-game macro currencies and shit like this, where, you know, well, I'm going to spend a luck point or whatever it's called. It's really complicated. They forwarded the timeline again. And so I'm not interested in that. I am much more interested in just the old school, you know, 2052 or whatever, you know, not that, you know, it wasn't that long ago when like babies started turning into orcs and shit. That's kind of my setting right there. I like that. You got the UCAS, the Confederacy, the Native American nations, Tir Tangier, you know, Aslan. And then if you play in Seattle, which I always did, you've got like the Renraku Arcology, and there's just no end of shit you can do. The newer stuff. Yeah, that could be a problem for them. I mean, Battletech has always gone through, you know, its feast and famine. And there was a whole period in like the 2000s in there where like no one played Battletech. Because I remember I bought Summons Collection for $50, and it was all old Ralph Partha models, and there was like 150 of them. But the guy was like, no one plays, I don't care. And he sold it to me. It kind of like how I got all of my Star Frontiers starships, battleships and shit. Some guys like, you know, it's Star Frontiers, no one plays. And I was like, yeah, I'll pay you $50 for that. And he was like, awesome. And now I've got like a huge fleet of the Federation of Planets and Sathar. Yeah, fond memories of third. Yeah, that's Paul. You and me are right in the same place with Shadowrun. They just overcomplicated something that didn't need to be that complicated, you know. And that's why if I ever play Shadowrun ever again, and I probably won't because my group is loving Hyperborea. I mean, eating it up, and I'm having a really good time running it. But I have my old second edition rule book, and I also have it on PDF. And I have all of the second edition source books, Native American Nations, Frost Sites, all of them. And I also have them all on PDF. So, I'm ready to go. I have lambs, and I have the original 1985, I think, Marauder that just looks like an egg with that tiny, skinny little thing up there that's constantly bending and breaking off. Pain in the ass, really. And I mean, even though some people might think, oh, he's just a grognard that's in love with the past, I like the newer stuff way better. Now, the new rules they're coming out with, I don't know if I'm going to like them. Because, I mean, let's be honest. I mean, Battletech has never really changed. Like one time they did a little update for targeting to fix something people were strongly taking advantage of. But they're changing a bunch of stuff. And they assure us, according to their little whatevers, that it won't actually affect anybody, really. Just a couple of pieces of equipment. But I'm not going to lie, I get a little bit nervous. James likes abjuration. Look at that. So I'm an evoker. Um, and James L. Lowry, Big James, is an abjurer. And whoever it was is a transmogrifier. But I'll tell you what, too. I've got the BattleTech Destiny role-playing game. And I actually really like it. And I think it's pretty cool. But it has a problem where it comes to me. And the problem is I have a couple of copies of this. Like I've got two here. I think I might have another one. And they're in excellent condition. They're not beat up. They're not just, I take care of them, right? And MechWarrior 2nd Edition was just such an easy game to play. And it really, like, if you want to play the combats out on the table as like a Battletech game, this goes right into it, And the main thing I like about it, because I'm a weirdo, is you actually get to keep track of your money and all that sort of stuff. Whereas Destiny tries to use a very abstract way of keeping track of XP and cash. And I think that is very self-defeating when your whole campaign's about being a mercenary, Because a huge part of a mercenary campaign is whoever's in charge of the finances scrabbling around trying to make sure they got enough sea bills to pay for repairs and food and maybe a drop ship if they don't have one. And, so you take that ability to have money away, and it's just like, I have a first edition one around here. And I have seen and read the third edition one. The third edition one really leans into adventures outside of the cockpit. And the first edition one's very similar to second edition, really. Just not as edited as well and whatever. Second edition may be peak Battletech. Now, Raven, the guy Raven, he will tell you that Time of War isn't that bad. They've added like a bunch of stuff and fixed it. And I'm not going to argue with him about it. Maybe Time of War is better. But I know when I bought the original book of Time of War, you couldn't build a character in that game. Yeah, character creation was just like, how? Because it asks you to make choices, And then later it asks you to make other choices that you really can't make until you've made third choices that you haven't even been given a chance to make yet. There was a guy who did a whole thing on making a character in Time of War. The video on YouTube was like an hour and a half long. He had notepads, sticky notes, a whiteboard, and he's going through how you make a character. And I'm just like, really? Like, you need a whiteboard and notepads and stuff? I don't think I'm interested in that. I'll just play second edition, where you just see in second edition, it's basically like Shadowrun. You just put your priorities wherever you want, and then, that's what you get. So if you want heavy mech, you put your highest priority in your mechs, and you get an assault mech, which you roll randomly on a table. So, you get to pick your house, and then that determines which assault mech you're more probable to have. Right. And then you've got attributes and skills and whatever. So it's super easy, It's like exactly making a Shadowrun character. And making a Shadowrun character, especially in like the early editions, was easy as cake, easy as pie, as they say. It's like, here are your priorities, put them where you want, spend the points. I mean, it couldn't get easier than that. So yeah, I'm looking at the front here, and let's see. Yeah, it's got the priorities here, 0 through 4. And you always put 0 in race, because I'm never going to allow a player in my campaign to play clan guy. So 0 should always be your race. And then depending on your mech, that's your next priority. And then after that, I mean, you can go for skills, attributes, and advantages, however you want. Personally, the best character I've ever had in a game that I ran was my brother, and he went human light mech. And then his next big priority was like attributes and skills. Hey, Cold Iron Skillet, what's up, brother? I really liked your thing you made today. Sure. Cold Iron Skillet made a meme of me dressed up like a Merrick pilot sitting in the cockpit of a Warhammer singing I Like the Way You Kissed Me by Artemis. And I like it because it's true. I do really like Artemis, and I do really like that song particularly. The only thing you got wrong is I generally never take a whammer, even though of all the 30-25 mechs, it's a very effective mech. But if I'm taking something at 70 tons, I'm probably going to drop 5 tons and take a Thunderbolt. I would, in every case, I would rather have a Thunderbolt than a Warhammer. But hey, I was just saying earlier, Cold Iron, that the way that Warhammer looks in the meme you made, now I want to paint a mech to look like that, because the purple and white paint job just looks freaking slick. Just such a cool looking mech. So yeah, I'm loving on that. So, now this, boy, if you take a heavy mech and you get a freaking Black Knight, you are a lucky bastard. But you got about 1% chance. So
What's up, James?
how you doing, buddy? How's things?
Oh man, a lot better these days. I got that bastard tooth out of my skull.
Yeah, the last time we talked, you'd said that you finally got that handled. And I've seen all your pictures of your cats laying on top of your Hyperborea books.
Dude, that is prime real estate. They
want you to prove you love them more than you do that book.
I cannot set those books down. Like anytime to do some research, do some deep reading on it and everything. No, they just pile.
Yeah.
It's like, ridiculous.
He's got a new interest, and we got to be involved. Actually, the white and purple, I could take this Griffin, which is white on one side and purple on the other, and just kind of do purple, some purple on the white and some white on the purple. And it would probably look pretty damn sharp. My favorite mech. I know it's not the best mech, but it's a good mech.
I know very little of mechs. I'm getting there
Did I
though.
send you BattleTech?
Yes, you did, and it took me on a deep dive. And
Oh,
I'm
you read the lore and all that? Like
I'm sorry, man. I'm with your brother. I'm with your brother, 100%.
Draconis?
Combine forever, man. Those guys are hardcore.
So you're a
Also,
freaking weeb,
it
is
was
what I would
it
say.
was reading about the tactics that really got me. It was just like how they go to battle.
Oh, you mean genocide?
Yeah, well, I mean, tried and true, but it's the light mechs supporting the heavy.
Well, that is the thing about Draconis Combine. They love their light mechs, and they have like 3 light mechs that they use that are amazing. The Jenner is basically super OP, and then you've got the Javelin F, which is basically a slower Jenner because it exchanges all the missile launchers for just medium lasers. So it's just
Mhm.
running around with 4 medium lasers. And then if you need a little support from the sniper range, you got a Panther, a 35-ton mech just hanging out somewhere, popping PPC shots across the field. And that's before you even look at like any of their other stuff. I mean, yeah, the Draconis Combine, they love the light mechs. They love the Raider mechs, basically. They like
Man,
to be able to
that's
drop a shit ton of light mechs that are fast and just,
I mean, everything else was a cool read, and then I got to those hardcore traditionalist wackad. Oh man,
oh, the
it's just
Bushido thing,
oh,
except in the Arqab region where they're all like hardcore Islamists.
yeah. Well, you know, strange bedfellows.
Well, I mean, it's not so much strange bedfellows as it is that they know if they F up, the director will send guys in there to straighten that shit out. So it's like they can believe whatever they want, but the last thing they want is drop ships full of Draconis, you know, sort of light regiments landing on the planet because that never turns out well for anybody. Luckily, House Merrick rarely ever fights or even interacts with Draconis Combine.
Oh, the back and forth with the House Merrick was really interesting to read.
Yeah, House Merrick spends most of its time fighting civil wars against itself.
Yeah, like it's like War of the Roses type stuff. It was really cool.
Well, that's what you get when you're like the only actual kind of republic democracy in existence. Because I mean, Davian likes to pretend they are, but they're not. Like
Mm.
Hans Davian and his son, they are totalitarian rulers. They just have a smile and give you a cheeseburger. But the other houses, like Draconis Combine, will basically tell you to bite a, you know, they own you, and they let you know they own you, and you like it because you follow Bushido. So you're all like, yeah, you're my Damia. I'm going to do whatever you say. And then, of course, the Capellans are all just crazy bastards.
Oh,
So yeah,
it's
Steiner
it's been
again.
great.
That's a monarchy, but they're. I always picture Steiner as being more like the Hanseatic League.
And it turned into this really horrible thing for me. I found myself incessantly scribbling down mechs to purchase. I was like, I don't have any of these. I was like, oh, I'm probably going to pick these up. These look cool. Getting those. Just
You know,
between lore and rules at the same time.
I hate. Hey, how you doing, buddy? Your camera's acting up.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
The problem here is that the game of Armored Combat box you got, you literally never need to buy another mech, but you'll want to.
It
No,
said I had a Griffin, and there's not a Griffin in it.
no, the Griffin comes in the basic set. That's how they screw you. The
Mhm.
basic set comes with a Griffin and a Wolverine. So the Wolverine came in 2 sets. The Battlefield Game of Armored Combat and the basic set. But now the new set comes with a Griffin and a Vindicator. And if you're playing the Capellans, the Vindicator is absolutely badass. It's a great mech. For 45 tons, it's a nightmare. But Yeah. So like me, I ended up buying 4 of the basic box sets for like $20 a piece, $19 a piece,
Nice.
because I wanted the Griffin. And what I ended up doing is taking the Griffin out of it and then giving the box sets away.
There you go.
You know, I did the same thing with the Game of Armored Combat. I took the mechs out, and then like I was just giving the box sets away to anybody because I ended up buying like 4 or 5. And I'm just like, hey, you want all the rules and the maps and everything, even little standees? You'll have to buy your own miniatures, but here you go, right?
Hmm.
My mic working?
Yeah.
Was that Chebs that
Yeah.
asked if this
Yeah.
mic was working? Well, yeah, your mic's
Oh,
working.
okay. I just changed my browser, so it seems like Firefox having some issue.
Yeah, I'm on Restream, and sometimes it can be a little janky.
Oh, okay. I was
Hello.
going to congratulate you on your choice of house. The best house.
Draconis.
Yep.
Well, that means that Hungar is gonna be your battle buddy,
I already sent him a Battle Buddy meme. Worked a bit on it.
because Hungar right now owns probably over a company of mechs painted in Draconis Combine 7th Sword of Light. And he's asked me if I would consider painting him up at least a lance or 2 of the Ghost regiments, which is really easy. They're just light gray with, the
Yeah.
Draconis Combine symbol on them. So it's like, yeah, Hungar, like every lance he takes has got a Panther and a Jenner. You can count on it. It doesn't matter what else he takes. There's always the Panther and the Jenner. And that Jenner is 100% a pain right in the dick. I mean,
That's-
because if you run that thing 11, unless you've got a great pilot, which none of us do, you're just not hitting it. I mean, you literally have a 1 in 12 chance. And if it's behind terrain and shit, you don't even got that. You're just not hitting it. Such a good scout mech. And another mech Hungar takes a lot is the Catapult CP1, the one with 2 LRM-20s. So he can put that bitch behind a hill, run his Jenner out, spotting for him all day. And then there you are. No, Bear has decided he is never coming to my channel again. And apparently, and this is not talking bad about Bear because he didn't say anything to me, but he decided that Mobius could have my channel. And he's just not going to come on here because Mobius comes on here.
Bear's been a little fluffy lately.
I don't know anything about it because, I didn't expect it. I thought we were homies. But Mobius pissed him off so bad that he's like, yeah, I'm never going to go around that. Because I did tell Bear, I'm like, look, I'm not going to ban anyone over all this bullshit. So you guys can get along or not. And he chose not. I mean, my buddy from Russia who watches, he pointed out where he thought Bear might have been a little bit overboard about some things involving me, but I don't care, If somebody insinuates that I'm away because I used the term Eskimo instead of whatever, I don't care. I'm still going to call them Eskimos. And the reason is,
Oh, Canada.
yeah, the reason is because in the damn rule book, what are they called?
Eskimos.
Eskimos. That's what they're called. And he told me, well, the guy who wrote that rule book is wrong. And I'm like,
Okay.
I mean, it's not even an insult. It means the eaters of raw flesh.
If Eskimo is wrong, I don't want to be right.
Yeah, it's eaters of raw flesh. And you know why? Because when I was in Alaska, observed them eating raw seal. Except those ones up there were like Kitkuks or Kimchuks or, they had a tribal name. So
He didn't
they
give
were
you a pass for
Eskimos,
being
but
American?
They actually had a tribe because
You're
that's
like, this is our word.
What'd you say, bro?
He didn't give you like a pass for being American? Of like,
You know those
I just call it
guys.
Eskimos.
here's the
Oh no,
thing.
don't you know? Canadians burnt the White House, and they can totally do it again. They'll totally come down here and show America what's what.
Oh yeah.
He was kind of. It was fun to listen to him talk about how Canada,
He
America,
tried.
could
He
defeat Canada
tried.
in a war, and I'd just be like, okay, man.
It's like, oh, you just want to pat him on the head. You just want to like, oh, it's cool,
Well, he's
man,
like, you guys could never survive the temperature and stuff, and I'm like,
bro.
okay, you do know there's an army base in Alaska, right? I mean, you know, they know about the temperature, man. Not that I think we would ever dare invade Alaska. I mean, why?
Yeah,
What would,
like really.
or Canada? What would even be the point of that? You know, it's like,
Was he pissed about the hockey thing? Like, did that irk him any?
I don't know. When I pointed out that Florida won 2 of the last 3
And I mean,
Stanley Cups.
wasn't it a Canadian that said we knew we were fucked when one of the American players had a largemouth bass on his helmet? It was like we knew we were done. It was like,
So the largemouth bass stickers are on every 4x4 you see in Florida. It's just the thing, you know. And the guy who actually, you had the guy who did the miracle save. I think he is Canadian, but the guy who got the winning puck plays for Florida, pretty sure. And it's just like, but no, I have no hard feelings with Bear. I know other people feel ways about Bear, but Bear is
no,
Bear.
Bear was fun. Bear was cool, and I mean, after all that
If he ever
bullshit,
comes back, it'll be water under the bridge.
I DM'd him and tried to talk to him. I was like, come on, man, don't be like that. The memes are gonna suffer.
Well, I DM'd him and he said maybe one day he would come back, but right now he just needs to do his own shit. And I said, understandable, cool.
Yeah, hasn't been much going on his channel though. So
Yeah, I wonder if he's still running the all-female game for Heroic or whatever.
I think he is.
Sounded like it would be really cool.
I sent him a meme about that. It was him DMing for a bunch of chickens. I did a bunch of hens.
That's funny. I love a little misogyny in the morning. But yeah, everyone keeps asking me about Bear. And I tell everyone I have nothing ill to say about the man. But him and Mobius, who is a fellow Canadian,
yeah, good Lord,
decided they hate each other. And I don't even get that shit.
Man, you know how people say like cats and dogs? No, that's 2 cats. That is just.
Is it like a French Canadian, English Canadian kind of thing? Because I think Bear's in Montreal.
Don't know, but
I'm
not sure where Mobius is from.
That's a good question.
That Bear comes from Labrador and he lives in Montreal.
Yeah.
And their fight started on an entirely different stream than my stream. But they sure shit brought it over here.
Woof.
And actually, it wasn't even Bear didn't bring it over. Mobius brought it over. But the problem is Mobius is one of my first 10 subscribers. And in general, a super cool guy. So that put me in this spot where it's like, I'm not picking sides here. You Canadians need to go out and play a game of hockey and figure out who in the hell is right about what, I don't even know what they're arguing about, to be perfectly blunt.
Yeah, see, that was my thing, was like, I kind of caught some of the context, but it didn't look like Mobius said too much, so it has to go deeper if Bear got that mad about it, you know?
Why are you two fighting? He knows why.
Well, okay.
So, I mean, that's awesome. Good for you guys. I have no idea why you guys are fighting. But no, Bear was a great guy. And his Jesse Ventura.
Oh, I missed that.
I miss that.
That was great.
He could do that. And listen here, guys. I was a Navy SEAL. And he just starts off and it's like dead on. And so, yeah, some of my best streams were actually with Bear. And I'll never forget that because, you know, how can you? He was a total bro. And whether he thinks I'm a racist or a nationalist or whatever he thinks I am, I still like him. I don't care.
Bear cool. Bear's a lot of fun.
He is. And Shadow, I've actually been joining Shadow's show in the morning occasionally because he's been Shadow games literally every night. So his ability to join my show is like non-existent now because he's just gaming nonstop. So he does his early morning show that's like noon our time, and I'll pop on and chat him up about whatever they're chatting about, games and stuff.
Yeah,
But
you did that top 10, what was it, top 10 random encounters?
yeah, we were doing like top 10 albums, top 10 songs, top 10 movies. That's a Shadow thing. He just likes doing
Yeah,
that.
he never said in his video what his number one was. He described them like he was leading up to it, and then he went off on something else, and I had to message him to find out what his number one was. I was like, dude, you left me hanging.
Well, one thing Shadow did a while back is he had like an online book club where every week or every other week they would meet and discuss a book from Appendix N that they'd all read.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah, so Shadow would be like, okay, this time we're going to read Fritz Lieber, Swords Against Destiny or whatever, Fafford and the Grey Mouser. And then the next week or whatever, they'd get together and they would talk about the book. And that was pretty cool too. I like that. Unfortunately, I never joined because almost every book that he said I'd already read. As a matter of fact, that bastard's the one that talked me into reading Moorcock. And you know what I realized? I don't like Moorcock. So thanks, Bear. The freaking Elric of Melna Benet bullshit. Yeah, I don't like it.
It was always kind of a mini war between Moorcock and Tad Williams. And I was always a Tad Williams fanboy.
Well, Moorcock talked a bunch of shit against Tolkien too, but I don't think Tolkien cared.
Nah.
Because of the whole, the thing that R.R. Martin even said this shit, that Tolkien was too predictable and the good guys were always good guys. And, there was no gray and blah, blah, blah. And meanwhile, that fat bastard's never going to finish A Song of Ice and Fire.
Well, that fat bastard is never going to top Frank Herbert for gray area and just letdowns. Like, too many people think everything was wrapped up in a nice bow in the first book of Dune, and it's like, yeah, did you read the series? It's
kind of goes
it
off
gets
the
weirder.
train after a couple books.
He does. And apparently he abused the shit out of his children or something. I don't know if he physically abused them, but he dumped them out in the middle of the woods and just made them try to survive and shit. He's kind of a weirdo like that,
Spartan parenting, yeah.
Yeah. Now, the first Dune book I like. I have never read any other Dune book. I have seen the shitty, Children of Dune HBO thing or what Sci-Fi Channel thing.
It was
just
Yeah.
It was meh, but at the same time, at least it covered a lot of the main points, and first of which being Paul's disapproval.
Oh yeah.
When he went to see his father, he was like, "I cannot and will not give you my approval." And he's just like, "Yeah, well, you were a fake messiah. I'm going to be a real one." And he's like, that's not a good thing you're doing.
Oh, are you talking about Leto that
turned
into a giant worm and ruled for 3,000 years or some shit? Yeah. Like I said, I like the first one a lot, the book. Of course, they never make the movies, right?
No, they can't really. God, how could they?
Well, I mean, a start would be casting. Chani's a redhead with freckled skin. Liet Kynes is a sandy blonde-haired man.
Yeah.
Just little shit like that. Now they got Paul actually right. He was a thin, weedy,
depicting the Baron accurately.
Oh, the Baron had curly red hair, and so did Raban, but Fade had dark hair. He definitely wasn't a powder white, bald bastard, even though I liked the look of the character.
That was an interesting choice. I didn't mind that.
Interesting choice. I was like, well, that's cool. Janet, how you doing? That's Janet from Another Planet too, so I don't know if that's actually Janet now.
It's an imposter.
Now I'm confused. Are you an imposter? I know a way to tell. Janet, did you like Willy's Wonderland with Nicolas Cage?
I did.
Well, we gotta wait to see what Janet says about it, and then I'll know for sure. So if that's a person trying to counterfeit our Janet, if they answer that question, we know, and if they don't answer the question, we know. Because if they don't, it means they don't know the answer, which means they're fake. And if they answer wrong, we know they're fake. Right? That makes sense, right? I'm ready to solve the labyrinth and go kick David Bowie in the balls. No way. That's the real Janet. For some reason, Janet did not like Willy's Wonderland. I don't get it. I've watched that movie 20 times. I love it. But I'm also biased because I'm a Nicolas Cage fan. Yes, I am that one guy that is a Nicolas Cage fan. Like Mandy. I love Mandy. You get to see Nicolas Cage in his whitey tighties in a bathroom just screaming his head off for like.
All right, you're gay. You're gay.
No. That was
I think you're gay for Nicolas Cage.
No, I wouldn't let him touch my butt or anything.
Okay.
But they burned his wife alive in a sack. He's pounding a gallon of vodka, screaming his head off, covered in blood. And it just gets crazier after that.
You'd go to dinner with him, though.
What's that?
You go to dinner with him. You just wouldn't let him touch your butt.
Yeah, he's not. No, we're not doing any of that. But
Okay, so you're gonna play hard to get. I
one
get
of
it.
the best people to ever act in a movie based on a H.P. Lovecraft story.
Yeah.
Like he literally captures the insanity because maybe he's really insane. Not including the guy who played in the Reanimator, because that guy's awesome. I always something Combs, I think.
The DS9 guy.
He was also
yeah.
in The Frighteners.
Yeah,
He played the
yeah.
crazy FBI agent that cut his own nipples off and shit.
Did they make a new movie with the Lovecraftian asteroid that crashes and pollutes the farm with Nicolas Cage?
Yeah.
A color out of
Something in my
space.
brain
Color
has, like,
out
seen
of
the trailer.
space. Yeah.
It wasn't horrible.
It was probably the best made Lovecraft story ever. Because, I mean, what are you doing when you're trying to film Lovecraft? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, it's
No.
definitely not the best Lovecraftian film. That has to be The Void.
Oh, The Void. Yeah, the Canadian.
Has to
film.
be.
That
It
is-
has to be.
Yeah, there's no doubt. The Void is way better.
Oh, oh.
And yeah, you and I agree 100% on that. But I mean, nah,
Yeah, and Mr. No Return Address, I was about to send you that shirt of The Void. I got one in your size.
Oh, well, I'm wearing my politically incorrect Orthodox shirt
Nice.
because we're not very politically correct. Just finished Friday night shit show. See, I didn't even know. The reason I'm on now is because I went to the dentist earlier, and then when I came home, I fell asleep, and I slept till like 9:30. But it was just for cleaning. But for some reason, laying in that thing and having them polish my teeth and stuff, it always just exhausts me. But yeah, Tommy Chong was the hippie. I mean,
Was
you
that
had
movie better
Tommy
than
Chong in there. You had
Melvin Adams?
Nicolas Cage. I don't know who anyone else was, but it was a good movie, basically. In the end, it was a good movie. My wife didn't like it. But she doesn't like... My wife is weird in that she doesn't like Lovecraft movies, and she doesn't like Lovecraft books, but she loves to play Mansions of Madness 2nd edition, which is basically playing Call of Cthulhu, except the computer runs the scenario. You got 5 players and you pick your character. Like for me, I almost always pick this guy right here. This is Jim Culver. He's a blues man from New Orleans, and he gets involved in whatever wacky Cthulhu shit is going on, right? and everybody picks the characters they like, and you got a little card with your stats, and you play through the mission, and about 60% of the time you lose because that game is heavily balanced to you just going nuts or dying. But it's a lot of fun too, you know. So that's the weird thing about the wife is that she don't like anything about H.P. Lovecraft except the board game that is 100% just Call of Cthulhu. You know? And now Hyperborea, which is just if D&D had a love child with Call of Cthulhu.
Yep.
I mean, that's
And
what it is. Clark
good.
Ashton Smith and throw some R.E. Howard in there too. Call it a day.
And there is a lot of content for it, I found.
Oh yeah, yeah. And they're getting ready to eventually put out a whole source book for the city of Cremorium or whatever, however you pronounce it. I don't know. And they're doing another Hyperborea Atlas like the old one they did, except instead of just being, you know, a book full of maps, it's actually going to describe what the hell the maps are.
Oh, so it's like a campaign setting supplement.
Book. Yeah, you know how on the back of the DM's book it has the setting information? They're going to make a book like this that has maps and setting information.
Oh, that'd be fucking awesome.
Yeah, man. I mean, because you could play Hyperborea with like any version of fantasy role-playing game. You really could.
But why would you?
The Hyperborea game is designed specifically for that setting.
Yeah, it's like, why would you, though? I mean,
Yeah,
I'm
why
liking
would
what
you?
I'm seeing. So the turn undead and the thief skills, like the D12, that is interesting.
Whole person having a duration of 1 hour.
Animate carrion. That was
Yeah. Like
very
necromancers
vague.
and death soldiers at level 1 can summon skeleton.
Very
Like
vague.
skeletal companion or some shit. They're like, all right.
I was
The
glad
power
to see
level in
Mnemonic
that
Enhancer in there. That's one of my favorite spells.
Right. The power level in the game is very high, but so is the lethality. So it's like your character is pretty powerful, but there's a lot of shit that'll just kill you. So, you know, you got to weave that.
Sounds like a
weave
fantasy
through that.
version of like Twilight 2000.
Oh, 4th edition Twilight 2000. Oh my God, I love it. Can I get anyone in at my table to play it? Never.
Oh, I have the same problem. Yeah, I love that game. No one wants to play it.
Well, I have ladies at the table, and I have a hippie that just hates any idea of fighting a war. And so there's no way, you know, I bust that out and I start showing them how to make characters and how firearm combat works, which is the best firearm combat ever made in any game. Because the one thing almost every game forgets in modern combat is suppression. As a guy who was the machine gunner for a dismount squad into Bradley's, suppression actually wins your firefights. Because my fire team would advance up, but the whole idea is to use the machine gun, and you're allowed to call it machine gun in the Army, to make your enemies keep their heads down so that the other element of your fire team, which is a 3-man fire team, can flank around and just kill them. And that's how we did it in Iraq. That's just how it's done. Suppression is, you know, you pin them down. If they're in a position, you pin them down and then have somebody call in some artillery on them. Yeah, and that game, like the M24, which I hate the M24, but some people like it. It's got like 4 or 5 suppression dice. And, my beloved M240, it's got like 4 or 5 suppression dice. So when you fire at an enemy in that game, even if you don't hit them, you could still make them take a coolness check or just hit the ground. And, you know, when you're playing a tactical game like that, that can change the whole flow of a battle.
I would buy that game just to get all the maps that it gives you for like other games, like the amount of buildings and urban maps you can use repurpose.
Oh hell yeah! And I bought the Urban Combat supplement box set, and it has even more. Even more. You get all of the little chits that represent like combatants and vehicles and tanks and all that. And then you got all those nice hex maps. Some of them, all go together, like the roads and stuff. And I mean, at that point, it becomes almost a war game, because when you move, you know how many hexes you can move, and you know how many hexes is going to be ranges for different weapons, and your position is super important. If you're standing up, you're probably dead. Like as soon as bullets start whizzing, you want to be face down and just try to crawl yourself into a position to get a shot. You know what I mean? But that's a free league game, and the game quality is just outstanding. I mean, Free League makes some of the highest quality games you will find anywhere. And Twilight 4th Edition is definitely one. Now, the game that I love and probably will never, ever play, I'll show you guys because this is how pathetic things are. Here's one of the books for it. Traveler 2300 AD.
Oh,
Yeah. Watch me try to get my players to play anything sci-fi. No. The closest to a sci-fi game my table will even consider is Shadowrun.
I could never get him to play a sci-fi game ever.
I don't know. I mean, I think, and I'm not complaining because I love my female players. They're actually some of the best players at my table. But when they show up, they just want to play elf games,
Yeah.
They don't want to pretend to be a soldier that's dying of radiation poisoning in Poland. That's not something they want. And they are not super interested in playing a hard science, game where, because 2300, other than the jump drive, is hard science. There's no artificial gravity or none of that bullshit, right? No, they want to play sci-fi. And the fact that I manage, they didn't even want to play Conan 2.20. And the whole top row of this thing is just Conan 2.20. And they're like, we're girls. We don't want to play Conan. And I'm like,
How could you not? He's big and he's hulky and he's hunky and he's bronzed and glistening and
Red Sonja, Balette. I mean, there's tons of like cool female characters right now. Nope. And then somehow I broke Hyperborea out and I was like, how about this? And they're like, yeah. And which is weird because a couple of people at my table always play elves. In this game, nope.
ugh.
In this game, one's playing a Dane and the other one is playing a Amazon.
I couldn't believe that about Shadow, that he was just like totally team elf. Like I was like, I never would have thought that.
My first character was an elf.
The first character was a human female because I rolled randomly and it was RPGA in 2000.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. And I learned what Rend was and I died.
Mine was 1983, and I had an elf named Elron because, I'm super creative.
Awesome.
As was the style of the time.
Right. And my buddy, Paul, who was the son of the bishop of the Mormon church that I was near, even though I'm not Mormon, but he was running the adventure in the back of the Moldvay Basic box, that gatehouse that's all ruined and abandoned. And I walked into the gatehouse and fell down a pit and died. And that was the end of Elrond. And after that, I only ever made human fighters for every game. What are you playing? A human fighter. What is your highest attribute going to? Believe it or not, for me, con. Almost every time.
Longevity.
I'd like to have a big strength too, but as a warrior fighter type, I want to have hit points to stand toe to toe with whatever I need to stand toe to toe.
I always wanted to go Dex so I could do stuff in my armor. Lessen the penalty for wearing armor.
Yeah, but the problem is in later editions of the game, I mean, if you were anything heavy, it removed your Dex bonus.
Yeah, or had a max dex bonus back then.
Right. So for a fighter, unless you wanted to use a bow, which I never did, Dex.
Yeah,
really.
ranged fighters never worked out. I mean, if you wanted to prestige later, it could work, but nah.
Yep. So I always did whatever I had to do to get the money as soon as possible. I always started with like splint armor
Get a
or
breastplate.
bandage, whatever the heaviest was.
I think a breastplate's like the best you can get while still having a decent dex bonus.
Well, I went for whatever said F the Dex bonus.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So I went for like the splint that gives you a good armor class and doesn't give a shit about Dex. I
And
carried
if they,
gold.
if your DM made you roll for gold, you had to start
Yeah,
fishing
3 by
loans
6,
from the party,
10.
borrow
Hey,
money
what's up,
from the
Purple?
party.
How you doing, homie?
Did
Killed
that all the time.
a half hour into your first game by a bee. Well, that's one of the weird things about AD&D and basic D&D is like a starting mage could absolutely be killed by a house cat. And it'd be funny if it happened, but
I saw a guy in RPGA get crit with a handkerchief.
oh my God.
Yeah.
What, it like blind him or something? Or
No, it did 1 point of lethal.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. It was a
How
giant
embarrassing.
rigmarole. Because back then you had to threat to crit, confirm to crit.
Yeah.
And so he confirmed the crit and he was like, all right, you pop it. And it says in the DMG to a minimum of 1, you did 1 lethal damage by whipping your kerchief in his face.
Oh my God. Well, think about it. You could have popped that handkerchief and hit him right in the eyeball.
Yeah.
That would suck.
Because he was like, I'm gonna poo-poo him. He was playing a swashbuckler, and so he was really hamming it up.
Guy.
Yeah. And he was like, I'm gonna poo-poo him with my handkerchief. And they just went through it, and he was like, yeah, you whipped
like,
him.
ah! Yeah, no.
He's like, make an attack roll, nat 20. And he's like, okay. Confirm the crit, nat 20. And he was like, okay, it's impossible because the 3 nat 20s in a row was the insta-kill
right
rule. And it was like, you cannot insta-kill with a handkerchief. I'm just going to,
I
there's,
didn't even know there was that.
yeah, 3 nat 20s in a row. It's in the DMG somewhere, I believe. It's 3 nat 20s in a row, you insta-kill something.
It's a blessed handkerchief. The guy's dead.
Yeah, so he was just like, no, but you confirmed a critical with a nat 20 with a handkerchief. You did 1 lethal point of damage. You
My
whipped
question
it.
is, how did he find the critical threat range for a handkerchief?
It was
the guy rolled a 20 for the
it was unnecessary.
20 is always a crit, yeah.
Yeah, it was unnecessary, but that's an interesting question.
20?
I'd say it had to be a 20.
Yeah, that is unfortunate for the guy who lost an eye to a guy with a handkerchief. Because in my game, that's probably how I'd have ran that shit. I said that dude's eye just got popped out. And people can bitch and whine, but it's like it's the only thing that makes sense.
So it made an audible crack.
You could have split his cheek open or something, but
yeah, like gave him a nice welt, like a really bad one on his cheek or something.
Right, but
no, we were just kind of like, what is that possible? And just like, yeah, okay, per the rules.
That's one of the reasons we love these games because everything is possible. Everything. Whatever can happen will happen, and generally when you most want it not to. That's kind of the rule for D&D. If it can't happen, it will, and it will always happen when you don't want it to happen.
I was loving just being party dressing with my first character until it was like, hey, Ranger, there's a troll. That's kind of your forte. Get up there and fight. I was like, okay.
You're like, trolls, man. In old school D&D, trolls were a nightmare.
Hit with claw, crit with bite, and then because it hit with both claws, got to rend. One tit went this way, one tit went the other way, and I was like, what's rend? I was like, what does that mean? They were like, it means extra damage. Oh.
Yeah, the Viking, Dane, actually, in my group, during adventure while back, they cleared out a tomb and she found this cave, bear hide that's a cloak. And once a day for like however many rounds, she can turn into a short faced cave bear. Which means she gets that what you're saying, claw bite.
Ugh. And then the hug.
And it adds and the hug. And it adds a bonus to her strength. So she's now, I think, 18 strength. So when she goes like with that bear, she's hitting for like +4 damage. And bears in Hyperborea, like cave bears, they hit like a truck. The only thing making that item not completely OP is the fact that you can use it one time for a very limited amount of time.
Color me curious.
I got that magic item out of a Goodman Games DCC module.
Let's see.
Because that is one thing you were talking about, Chebs, I think. DCC,
Yeah.
was that you?
Yeah.
Even if you don't play Dungeon Crawl Classics, like the actual role-playing game, a lot of the freaking adventures that they put out with are cheap and good.
I saw that a lot of them are like re-releases of original D&D stuff.
Well, they're doing that now where they're
Yeah.
re-releasing original D&D stuff, but for like 5th edition D&D. But they have their own like line of modules, and they cost generally $4.99, maybe $7, $8, whatever. And I'm not going to say every single one of them is great, but on average, they're all really good. So if you just need something to occupy like your level 4 group, you know, they probably got something that you can fit right into a campaign and just run with.
Okay.
And sometimes that's just what, as a DM, sometimes, you know, maybe you did a lot of shit that week and you just really didn't have the time to figure everything out. So you grab, you know, the module and you just run it. And if you need to change some names and shit in it to make it fit into your campaign, you do. Because my homebrew campaign before I started playing Hyperborea was based on 10th century Kievan Rus history. So all of the towns and everything and any module that didn't have a Russian name, I had to give a Russian name. But I mean, that's not a big deal, you know, for me. So yeah. So instead of Herat, it was like Heratgrad. And one of the cities I renamed to Mosingrad, which is like City of Death, Mosingrad. And of course, the capital city in my campaign was Kaliningrad, which is an actual city, I think, in north of Poland. Yeah, Cellars on the Starless Sea is a classic, and it's a funnel. So when you play through that one with DCC, you're supposed to make 4 0-level characters each, and whoever survives the adventure becomes your first level character. And your 0-level character might start equipped with, like, I don't know, a fork, pair of scissors. And it tells you, you don't know how you got here, but you're here.
Good God.
And so the thing a lot of people do is they find the character they made that is got the best attributes and shit. And pretty much they throw the other 3 characters in front of it to try and keep the one with the good attributes alive long enough to be level 1. But yeah, I ran the game, and the 2 people in my party who actually always play magic users hated the magic system. I'm like, how do you hate that magic system? I mean, yeah, it's a little slow, but you just hit somebody, auto hit somebody up to a mile away for like a number die 12, but you don't like it because you had to roll. And that was the reason, because they neither one of them liked the idea that if they effed up enough, they would get like deformities and shit. So they're just like, yeah, we don't like this. We want to go back to a game where you don't have to roll to cast. And I'm just like, what a bunch of sissies. But, you know, whatever. And it's funny because like a couple of years later, I ran them all through the Enemy Within campaign for Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay. And that one will straight up, you can run the whole world, you know? Like during the Bogenhofen adventure, if you don't stop the cult, They literally open a demon gate, and the whole city of Bogenhaven gets wiped off the map. And they had no problem with that. No problem. Like one of the mages effed up so bad that one of his legs ended up being like 2 inches shorter than the other one. He didn't bitch. He paid a bunch of money for platform shoe for 1 foot.
Sounds like they wouldn't like Dark Heresy with how the psychers work.
Yeah, it's basically like that. And then another one who was a magic user, he effed up and it turned his hair white, whereas it had been a dark brown, and it was just white. And to make it more embarrassing, when the thing happened that turned his hair white, he also pooped himself. So the other party members were like, you pooped yourself. But I think during that year-long campaign, they all lost control of bodily function at least once or twice. Yeah, the Enemy Within Adventure Path is the best set of adventures for any game ever. And I love B2, Keep on the Borderland. I love B10, Night Star Terror. But that adventure is just, it's so good. And I wanted to run the guys through it because I went through it with Warhammer 1st Edition. They went through it with Warhammer 4th Edition. And now that I've ran them through it, I'm going to sell all the Warhammer 4th Editions. But I am 100% keeping the 1st and 2nd Edition stuff. Because I love Warhammer Adventures 2nd Edition. Just love it. And they never made the Enemy Within campaign for 2nd Edition for some reason. I guess they figured you just use your 1st Edition stuff. Because the rules aren't that different. But so I told you that drawn out tale basically to show you how there's no logic here. It's like you can't stand the idea that you might get mutated in DCC, but you're 100% cool with shitting yourself and getting mutated in Warhammer Fantasy World. Okay. I mean, I'm not going to argue with them about it. I'm just going to be like, okay, we'll do it the way you want to do it then, I guess. Which I am a people pleaser. So I would call myself a very nice DM, which doesn't mean I won't kill your ass, because I absolutely will, right? But at the same time, I'll let you basically play almost anything you want. And instead of forcing people to roll 3 dice 6 down the line, I use an attribute. What do they call it?
You do like a spread.
Yeah. So
do you let them spend 2 to buy 1 to like customize them a little bit?
That too. Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, you get 6 numbers, and then you can always take 2 off of one to add 1 to another. Oh, look at here. What we got?
We got. Who dat?
Miss.
It's Lady with an alien friend. Hello.
It's Janet. Miss don't
How are
like.
you guys?
Damn it, your hair looked just like mine when I had hair.
Yeah.
I used to be young and handsome.
I don't believe it.
Young and handsome.
Oh. Don't
better?
check your inbox later, sir. You about to show you how handsome I was.
I saw you sent me a copy of your driver's license.
Yeah, that was when I was drunk and hungover.
The one that makes all of the freaking thumbnails for me that are just me doing stupid shit.
Oh, who's making those for you?
Cold
Not
Iron
me.
Skillet.
Oh, you
Nope.
do?
No, I don't do that.
No.
I don't do that at all.
Don't lie to Janet.
Well, they're really
and then
good.
Chebs, I believe, probably got sent over here by Racer Fist.
Yeah, and Holy Diver.
Oh well, Holy Diver's my boy.
Yeah.
Oh, that guy. That guy.
The angry tabletop gamer. Yeah, that's my boy there.
He's cool. He's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
He is. He still hasn't played Oathmark yet, and I sent him the damn rule book. But whatever. Well, he's my homie back when he was Holy Diver, and I would tell him, dude, every time I type your name in to search for your videos, I just get Dio. So what movie did you watch tonight, Janet?
We didn't watch a movie. I did the Friday Night Shit Show.
Oh, is that the one where you talk about basically all the shit show going on?
Yeah, all the shit. And tonight I talked about, the little girl that was abducted by the FedEx guy.
What?
He murdered a little 7-year-old girl.
Oh
See,
my
this
god.
is why I don't watch the news.
Okay, I talked about that. But the thing is, I talked about a lot of different things like that. But I also played the video of Melania Trump talking to Congress to please invite all the Epstein victims to testify in front of Congress. So it'd be on record, and who they were assaulted by, make it all public. And I guarantee that Congress isn't going to take them. Listen to them.
I
See,
guarantee
that's
it.
the thing
Remember,
I've been more salty about,
couple-
not that I won't get into the politics too much,
yeah,
but if I had any complaint about the current regime, is I really don't feel like they're moving on the Epstein shit the way they should.
well,
Well,
When
if anything, I guess I'm more
wait
of
a
a
minute. When she
totalitarian because
says
I would've-
that,
I
she's
would've went
telling
to
them to do
Minnesota.
it, to bring the victims, to let them testify in Congress on record.
You would think.
The reason I don't think that they will is because we had 360 something vote no and 65 to vote yes when they tried to release the names of all the people who had used the slush fund, to pay people
Oh yeah,
when you're groping somebody or you're pulling them on your lap, and they
Wait,
just say,
what
"Oh,
did
it's
you say
okay.
again? Do that again.
Here's $200,000 and sign this non-disclosure." Basically, so they were
Jane.
going to name all those people, and they said no. 65 out of our whole Congress said yes. That just shows you we got a shit ton of rhinos and a bunch of dweeb, disgusting pigs, and that's why the Epstein stuff is taking so long. Not because of Trump. Trump and his wife are doing everything they can. They've met with victims. I have played multiple interviews with victims, and they all said the same thing. Trump was not involved in any of the stuff that I've ever seen. And so
You
people
look
can
like a
believe whatever
librarian.
you want.
You
but
look
I'm
like you're
telling
going
you.
for that like sexy librarian porn star look.
Well, I can do this, or I can wear these.
See,
I need an adult.
So,
Glasses, yeah.
Shadow, why does it say paired next to your name? Did you and I somehow get married like on Restream and I didn't know? Do you see how it says paired?
I'd have to open the chat, I guess. I haven't got that open.
Yeah, in the chat, it's all like blue with purple and it says Shadow and I are paired.
I don't know. Restream thinks I have a camera and I don't, so it's being weird.
So I don't know. I don't see it. I don't see paired. You must be the only one that can see it.
Yeah, that's weird. I don't know how that happened. He must have made us paired because I've been going on his show. Except today I had to go to the dentist to get my teeth.
Well, I'm sharing this right now on my X. So maybe you'll have some numbers go up.
Probably not.
Oh.
But I don't care. I mean, I gain like 20 or so people a month, and I think 90% of it is because Razor Fist is kind enough to mention my channel.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
I love him.
Yeah, I've
I
been
used to follow him.
I've
Oh,
been
I still follow
subscribed to
him.
his channel for probably over a decade.
I love his rants. Those are my
I
favorite.
like his rants. I like his movie reviews. I like his metal reviews. I actually just like everything. And I remember when he was a kid and he used to sit in this little small room surrounded by like video game cartridges.
Mm-hmm.
And he'd just talk about games and stuff. But boy, he really came into his own. And,
Yeah, he's
you
done
know, I've
really
always
good.
liked the guy. So, you know.
You like pink?
And plus, not that you care. Yeah, there you go. Not that you care, but Razor Fist and I both play House Merrick in BattleTech. And for us, BattleTech,
I don't know what that
that's a
is.
big deal.
I've
It's a
never
big
played
deal.
BattleTech.
Just trust me, Janet. If you're a BattleTech nerd, it's a big deal.
Well, I have never played that. I play a Goat Simulator.
Run around getting into trouble with a goat.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Have you ever played?
I played the one when you were a goose.
Oh, the goose one. That's right. You told me that.
That one's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, and you just choose violence
Yeah, so does the goat.
as a goose. It's just
The
like,
goat does. He headbutts people. Because
I
I
know
had
who
the head.
Salty
he had the
Cracker is.
headbutt.
You must be talking to Janet. Of course, I know who Salty Cracker is.
Do what?
Shadow said you love Razor Fist, but don't know who Salty Cracker.
No,
is.
I don't know who that is. I haven't seen.
Some dude in California that says a lot of funny shit.
Well, I'll probably like him if I've seen him. I
Yeah,
might have seen him. I just don't recognize the name.
He's
He
part of the Gavin
kinda
Newsom
does
cult that Shadow's a
punditry.
part of.
Right. He
Yeah.
kind of does punditry like you're talking about, but the way he does it, he kind of like makes fun of, like there's one where some woman's talking shit and ends up getting drug out of her car by a bunch of ICE agents, and he kind of narrates it and makes it funny. 'Cause,
Oh,
she's like, I will not get out of my car. Call 911. There's like 6 ICE agents aiming guns at her. It's like, why are you so dumb? That's all. That's not him. That's me. I'm sitting
Yeah.
there saying, you are really stupid, lady, because this shit could go bad real quick.
yeah, and it has.
And it has. And I love these people who are like, you're not a real cop. And it's like, they are federal law enforcement.
Mhm.
They're more than a real cop. Those guys can roll into your local police and tell them to F themselves right in the A, But we live in a culture where the middle class liberal white woman has never been called out for anything they did. And now they're just running amok, thinking no one can do anything. And then they're surprised when a cop
And they
slams
take
them on
their
head.
kids. They take their children.
Take your
And
kid-
shoot their dogs.
Even worse.
Yeah, even worse,
Yeah,
taking your dog.
yeah.
I mean, what did the dog do?
They were taking kids out in 7-degree weather
The
in
world is full of
strollers and
idiots,
stuff.
man.
Yeah, to stand in front of the ice trucks and stuff. I was like, what?
Yeah.
That's a reason right there. Endangering your children should be a reason you lose your kid.
Well, I think Razor Fist himself pointed out, what did he call it? Like suicidal empathy or something.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. They're stupid
It's
ass.
like when you care
Misplaced
about
martyrdom.
somebody that actually would kill you if they could, but you're willing to fight for them for some reason because it makes you feel better. And unfortunately, typically it's upper middle class white women and the freaking spuds that are hanging about hoping one of them will touch your pee. And that's pretty much who you got, And now, oddly enough, nursing home people. Like that last No Kings thing they did, like everyone there was like 80. It was
They're
like,
reliving
Yeah.
their youth.
It did look pretty
oh yeah, you got 80-year-old woman
Geriatric.
out there singing hippie songs like Canned Heat, Let's Get Together. It's like the
Oh,
60s
man.
are done, lady, and they're not coming back. And most of us realize that whole Summer of Love bullshit was a huge mistake. That we never should it never should have been allowed to happen, but whatever. Whatever. So Bruce doesn't do your Friday night stream, and I've watched your Friday night stream. Now that I think about
He's
it,
done it a few times, but sometimes, like tonight, I didn't ask any guys because I was talking about, like I just said, the 7-year-old girl and other. There's another one about a pediatric doctor that raped 103 of his patients.
Well,
So
I
the
was
youngest 3 months old.
Right
Why
off
the
the
bat,
parents? So that's why I didn't invite him, because most men just get pissed off and say stuff that will get my channel taken down. So
well, I
I just
going to
decided
go ahead
no.
and thank you for not inviting me to that kind of stuff.
well,
Yeah, I'm gonna have a drink.
I mean, I know it's real and it's horrible, and I know it needs to be changed. And I'm 100% sure you and I agree
mhm.
that there is a thing going on that needs to be fixed, but I just don't want to hear about it because
Lord.
But the whole thing
as a
was
guy, I
leading
think
up
I'm just
to
oversensitive.
having the first lady say that, and then telling my audience, please send, here's my email, Friday Night Shit Show at gmail.com. Anyone that you get one of your people from your state that's going to ask the victims to come up and do it under oath, and make it a record on record, let me know, because I don't think there's going to be that many, because I bet 300 and something of them, the ones that voted no about releasing the names, they're all going to say, no, we're not going to bring those women in. And because I bet some of their names are on that list.
Well, this is all news to me, and
So
but I agree.
I'm excited about it. I'm always up on that stuff.
And speaking about weird stuff going on, and again, not trying to make it too political, but it's going to be. I guess Eric Swalwell got Me Too'd by like 4 different chicks. Like one
I'd
of them
have to
that
look
worked
him up
for
and
him
see
is
what his face
accusing.
looks like.
He's
So
the
I
guy
know
that
who
was
he is.
sleeping with the Chinese spy for like.
Oh,
a
that
year.
guy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Fang
Yeah,
Fang or whatever.
Yeah,
right?
he's been accused
that
of
one?
like essaying like a person that worked for him and a bunch of other women. Now, I don't know if it's true, because my first thought is let's see some evidence. But the one chick did go on CNN and give a whole interview and describe everything. And so I don't know.
Can I ask a question?
You can ask anything you want.
I just looked up Cold Iron Skillet, and it's
Oh,
a guy and there's a forest above him. Whatever, is that yours? So I can follow you.
Forest above me.
Yeah, it's got like grass and woods.
I'm
Like
not
woods
sure. On
behind him.
Discord?
No, on YouTube.
No, that wouldn't be me on you. I think so. Hang on.
He used to be Cold Iron Oven, but it's
Well,
so much
it says
easier for
Cold
me
Iron
to say
Skillet.
Cold Iron Skillet.
Well, that's what the name is on here.
Is it a portrait of Augustus?
I don't know who Augustus is. Sorry.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
gonna
it's
send
probably
this to
me,
you,
but
James. I'm going to send this to James on my Discord real quick and see.
yeah, that's
if-
probably me, but I don't post anything on YouTube. I keep
That's
getting,
okay. There's nothing on there, but I still want to support you by following you.
well, thank you.
Well, you're welcome. I just want to make sure it's the right person, because you don't want to follow some. who
Yeah,
knows
that's
who.
me.
So it is you. Okay, good. I'm going to follow
That's
you.
me. Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
That's sweet of you.
I try to support everybody the best I can, with the
Yeah,
time
just-
allotted.
Janet, I have a
And,
question for you.
Is the
Uh-oh.
other person over there, are they awake or are they taking a nap?
No, they're awake, but we're talking too much for them to ever
Oh.
say anything.
Well, let's all be quiet for a second. I want to hear their voice.
Me?
All right, Kebs.
Oh, so I have a question for Cold Iron.
Oh,
Okay.
fuck.
Saying you had made some thumbnails for James earlier.
Yes.
Did you also make the shadow memes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because those were amazing.
Yeah, I made those.
The Shadow memes, the one with me and Shadow running around fighting vampires and hanging out with goth chicks. And
Yeah,
God, that storyline went on for months. There's one where Shadow and I are dressed up like Viper pilots riding little Viper, like
I can't turn my mic down, Shadow.
Just turn your volume down some.
Okay.
he's
Okay.
not even
Because
loud. I don't know what Shadow's talking about. Also, I don't know why
No, I mean
is-
Shadow. Why can't Shadow just turn his volume down a little bit?
I didn't mean to scare the pup.
Well,
But-
he's from California and he lives in the middle of the desert and he don't let
Okay.
really. I mean, because the problem with people like Shadow is once you have existed for so many thousands of years, your brain calcifies and you can't actually learn.
Okay. All right, Shadow. Look. Here. Let's hash it out because you've been a fluffy, huffy little house wren to me for a while now. Okay. All the gay shit was Bear. He said make Shadow gay, so I made Shadow gay. I made you a vampire per his request. Okay, this was not me.
Yeah, I was the one that actually said, don't make Shadow gay.
Blame the
I
guy when he's not here to defend himself.
well, he'll own it. Bear will straight up be like, yeah, that was fucking me. Hell yeah. It's
Yeah,
like,
Bear totally owned that shit.
Bear would own
He
that shit.
said it on stream. That,
Yeah, he did multiple times. And like
Multiple times.
I put the rule out there. I said, anybody asks me for a meme or clip art or a thumbnail, they get it. I'll do it.
Right.
Whatever it is, I'll do it. I'll make it happen.
I think the rule is you just got to let him have time to do it because he works and stuff.
Well, not so much anymore. They put me on part-time, so I'm
That sucks, bro.
well, reading Hyperborea. Thank you, Mr. James. God bless you. Long life, good health. Love you.
Oh, I know you do. But as many thumbnails as you've made for me and the whole shadow stories and stuff.
That was just for fun, man. Like that ain't nothing, dude.
Look,
That was just stuff I did because you guys would get on there and then just completely crash out on each other
here's the
and
thing.
say the most
Do
horrible
nice things
things.
for me. I do nice things for you. That is
Well,
just
that was a little too nice. And yeah, one of these days, man, you're going to get your comeuppance. I promise you.
yeah. When I'm driving through Georgia, I'll figure out where you live and drop in and drink all your beer while you're at work.
You can't drink all my beer because I'll give it to you, and I've got more. It's impossible for you to drink all my beer. I'm an
I won't
alcoholic.
drink any of it.
There you go. You heard it here
Drink
first.
beer.
That's how I get through my days, man.
Horrified by all the news of all the. Oh yeah, the Texas thing. Is like they had a spring break at Texas and like 400 and something people turned up positive for STDs. It's like, what are you idiots doing?
Well, you know what? I bet that would end if they instead of
Jeff,
STD,
if you wanna make a
they had
channel,
leprosy instead.
Got the gay man butt flu.
Well, there were a lot of women, and they went into more detail. It was like herpes.
Oh, God.
I'm just saying, if you scare them and tell them, "Hey, you have leprosy," and they look it up, they're gonna freak out, thinking everything's gonna fall off.
Well,
Oh, do you remember the Goodwill leprosy scare?
If these idiots are smart,
Oh,
they'd
man.
realize.
It was
how
like sometime in the
easy
90s.
it
Rush
is to hide
Limbaugh
it.
was all over that.
Did you hear me, Colin?
What? I'm sorry.
If these idiots were smart, they'd realize that it's super easy to catch hepatitis.
Oh, God, yeah. Toilet
Yeah.
seat, doorknob,
And like half
What
of
is
the
it?
boomer generation have Hep C.
hepatitis C. It'll just eat your liver out.
Like the whole freaking generation of love.
I thought
Like, they
that
all
kind of
have
stuff
hepatitis.
was from using like intravenous drugs.
Dude, when
You
I worked
could
at the fire department,
It's so easy to get.
told us a drop of hepatitis positive blood left on the bench of the ambulance
Mhm.
it is effective for spreading hepatitis for like a month. It spreads so quick. It makes AIDS and HIV look like rookies.
Yeah. Also,
And the
it was a
problem is
big
you
problem
get it, you
early
don't know
2000s.
you got it. Yeah.
Mhm.
Like
Kids sharing body jewelry.
Isn't that the one where you have to like get vaccinated just to go to Mexico or like tourism vaccines and
I think that's Hep B because I had to
Hep
get the
B?
Hep
Where it's
B.
like you walk on the beach and bam, you have hepatitis now.
Yeah, Hep B I had to get inoculated against just because firefighters have to.
Oh,
And Hep C,
I've
if
been
you
to-
get it, you can take interferon and be super deathly ill for a year and it'll go away. But the problem with hepatitis is most people, by the time they know they have hepatitis, it's because their liver is not working anymore and they've just turned yellow. And they're like, why am I so sick and yellow? It's like, because you've had hepatitis for 20 years and now you're dying.
That's terrible.
And then you get Hep A from like messing around with like, sewage.
Poo-poo.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Hep A you get from drinking sewer water, which so you shouldn't do that. Possibly licking butts, but I don't know.
You can, but more likely you're going to get a coli.
Disgusting. That's so disgusting.
Yeah. I
didn't
knew
know
a guy at the
that.
skate
don't
park
even
who
let
actually
my-
got a
I don't
coli.
even let my dog lick my hands or anything because they lick their butts and stuff. Ew.
Nope.
It's gross.
See, here's the thing. Once a year, as a paramedic, I had to take a whole test on blood-borne diseases. So I know a lot more about blood-borne diseases and how they spread than I ever wanted to. And I can tell you which demographics are most likely to have what,
Mm-hmm.
how they get it. But
Mm-hmm.
the one thing I can tell you right now is Hep C, that shit will get you. It spreads like wildfire.
Mhm.
And pretty much if you don't get checked out a lot, so they check in your liver function, eventually they just kill you, See, I went to the doctor and got blood work a couple of like 2 weeks ago. My liver function is even better than it was last time.
Oh, fuck. It's been a while for me.
Well, it's because I lost so much weight. I went from like 300 plus pounds to like 240.
You.
So now my liver's like, hey, this is nice. You know? And my A1C isn't 9 point, God knows, every single day.
Yeah.
Now I run it like 4 point something, 5
I
point.
dropped weight like that when I got a Helicobacter stomach infection. I
I
couldn't eat
dropped
for
it by
3
eating
months.
nothing but meat and spinach.
Gosh, man, I bet your poop was pure black.
It's disgusting.
Yeah, it was something. It was something. I mean,
Gosh,
you know.
all that iron, dude. This like
Well, no, because sometimes I eat chicken breast and spinach, collard greens, mustard greens, basically any kind of green and
Mhm.
any kind of meat. And
Shadow. What the hell?
Haven't been to the doctor in over a decade, bro.
Aren't you in your 60s? I mean, you're not old, dude, but just like
I don't know. I think Shadow might be younger than me. Like for real, not the vampire Shadow
I was
we
gonna say.
talk about, but the actual real Shadow. I think. I don't know. I'm 55. Just
So you thought it was a fake Janet when I came in the chat?
said Janet
we said
too,
maybe.
and I'm like,
We said maybe.
I said, I'm going to ask
Why?
her the Willy's Wonderland question, and however
Oh,
she answers,
That's the
I'll
worst
know.
movie I've ever. I left. I mean, I turned it off and it wasn't even 10 minutes in.
That's what Bruce told me because I
It was
was talking about how
terrible.
much I
It was
loved
horrid.
the movie, and he's like,
The only
Janet,
good thing about the whole movie is those poor little kids at the birthday party.
59.
That was it.
Okay.
that
I mean-
got led into the back room for the special.
Okay.
That was
You're
it.
59. I'm freshly 40. And I'm gonna tell you,
Well, you're the baby.
take some advice. I had prostate trouble when I was 21.
Oh my God.
Go get your prostate checked. You
Guess
do
what?
not want prostate problems.
I've never had prostate problem.
You don't have one, Janet.
She has a lady prostate, but they're way different. Serves a different function. She has a prostate.
Well,
Well, I don't want to talk about prostates.
I don't have high blood pressure. I have good cholesterol. I'm in pretty good shape.
I'm not.
But I don't do any drugs. I take
And you're a
vitamins, but I
gym
take
rat.
all my vitamins separately, and they're all gel caps. I don't take any hard. The only hard pill I take is my iron because I can't find iron unless you want to drink that nasty shit. You know the.
God, I was drinking ibuprofen for the past couple of weeks.
I'm allergic to ibuprofen, so I can't take that.
Oh God.
I'm doing everything I can to not get the big knuckles and everything when you get arthritis when I get older, and I don't want to have to do anything because I can't take ibuprofen.
Wow.
I have to carry EpiPen everywhere I go, and I get allergy shots every 2 weeks. So I got to be real careful what I get into. So. And I carry stuff with me because if I go to the store and some lady was handling something and I pick it up and her lotion gets on me and it has sulfur in it or something, I get a little sick. So I have to
Gross.
wash my hands all the time and stuff. It sucks.
Yeah, I got to wear the Frankie Goes to Hollywood gloves all the time because I have like really bad autoimmune. So I get eczema all the time.
Don't lie. You just really like
If I eat too much gluten,
You know what? If I want to wear a tank top and the fingerless gloves and shine a flashlight at a cute guy, this is America, damn it. It doesn't mean I'm gay. It means that I'm just having a good time.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with having fun.
Okay, see? I can go dance at the
This is
club
our
if I
one
want
life.
to.
We have one life and we have to enjoy it today because tomorrow is not promised to any of us.
Uh-huh. See?
See, I believe you got 2 lives.
Well,
This one,
if a guy wants to buy me the free drink, I'm going to drink it. It's a free drink.
See,
Okay.
you're bringing up shit. I brought it up actually, but you're talking about stuff that hurts my feelings.
How's it hurt your feelings?
I've been to a couple of gay bars when I was dating the weird goth chick, and no one knew I was with her because she was dancing with her gay friend and all that stuff, and no one hit it on me. No one.
You're too masculine, James.
But
you
Haas,
have the
my
aura
brother,
of he's playful. He is more playful. I'm sorry. You are the more responsible one because you're older. You are
everywhere we
straight.
went, there was a gay dude in the room. He's trying to get with my brother.
Because he's playful and
Not a
fun.
single gay guy has ever hit on me, and I started
Well,
getting a complex about
what you
it.
need to do is show us a video of you and your brother standing side by side, but only show us your butts.
Well, I don't
Probably
have
look at
one of
his
those.
butt and thought he had a nice butt, and that's why they.
All right.
I
Oh,
don't have one of those, Janet. I have a flat.
You have back crack.
Yeah,
Did you both have the
you
beards
know,
back then?
Like I could pull my jeans off without unbuttoning.
You got a
there's
frog
no
butt?
lips or butt
Yeah,
there
he's
to
got a
hang.
back crack.
oh, he's got a frog butt. No, you need a juicy booty, man. Women want to feel on that shit.
I will tell you this, and I swear to God, it's the truth. My brother worked at a Circle K, and a gay black handicapped midget came in and hit on him from out of a wheelchair.
Handicap midget.
Dude, I'm saying it's because he's playful. He's got that aura, dude, that he could be. You know what I mean?
Maybe
You are too straight. You're too ironclad.
that is what the goth chick said. She said
That's what it is.
they automatically know when they look at me that nothing's going down there. But still, I was, because you know how it is when, like, it's not like I'm going to sleep with one of these dudes, but it'd be
Yeah.
nice for them to acknowledge me.
It's
I mean, out here
if a gay
knocking
man,
everybody else, it made me feel like I wasn't part of the anything.
yeah, it's like if you know you've made it, you know you've done good when either a gay man who is really in shape and is really really preoccupied with his looks hits on you, or a black woman.
Well, see, here's the thing. My brother ran through like the black chicks. Like,
Or he's just got it, man. He's just got it. You've made it. If a black woman comes up to you and says, "Look at you, Mr. Smooth," and it's like, "Oh shit," she said that to a white guy. You've made it.
Yeah. I have never had a black woman hit on me in my life.
I've had one, and I was so proud. I was so proud.
The closest I even got to a black chick was a chick that was half Indian.
I mean, she wasn't really hitting on me either. She was
Yeah.
just like, "Look at you." She was like, "You look so good," and I was like,
What is that
"Fuck
supposed to
you."
mean? I don't get it.
What?
Huh?
The half Indian.
She was half Indian because her dad was 100% Chippewa Indian from Canada.
Oh, feathers, not
Mom
dots.
was,
Okay.
Was she half black?
No, I'm
Oh,
saying as close
okay.
as I got to that
Oh,
was
okay.
a woman who was half Chippewa Indian.
I never got an Indian.
I was like going, okay.
That's another one my brother did. The whole time we were in Alaska, he was dating a freaking Eskimo.
God, he sounds like Tommy Chong. He just wants to complete the rainbow.
Well, my great grandmother was Chickasaw and was raised on a reservation in Oklahoma. So
let me tell you about when Haas went to university
Oh Lord.
in Minot State, Dakota,
Oh God.
and practically lived on the Lakota Sioux Reservation with this woman because my brother, right? Me. I was kind of a losery, skinny nerd in high school. My brother was super popular. Everyone loved him. He was the football player. And then after the Army, when I came home, I was like 6 inches taller than him. And then it was like, okay, now I get to be the cool one. Shadow, you're married to a Mexican national now, aren't you? Which I did marry a Puerto Rican once. That shit did not work out.
why did she beat the crap out of you?
Just mean. She was redheaded too. So I mean, a redheaded Latina. That was just not going to
Did she
work.
dye it red?
Shadow dated an
No, she
Indian
was
for
not
8
a
years. Whoa.
She was, but the thing with Puerto Ricans, like one of my best friends from work and everything, Miguel, he's Puerto Rican, and he would show me like his family get-togethers, and it was literally like the Rainbow Nation. There'd be like one guy standing there that was his uncle with blonde hair, and then there'd be literally an African-looking dude, and then like everything in between,
Man,
and they were all related. And I
8
was
years,
like, well,
man. Shadow, good grief, dude.
That must have been some good food at that barbecue.
Getting that Vindaloo snoo.
I'll tell you what, if you do get invited to a Puerto Rican guy's house for a barbecue, man, they will cook up a hell of chicken. The chicken.
Oh
is
my
like
God.
the chicken and rice and the beans. Yeah. I mean, I still literally, I talked to him just today. I mean, we're both retired now, but every now and then I get in touch with Miguel and I'm like, what are you doing? You know, because I like to keep in touch with the guys that were on my crew, you know, because they're all retired now too. And I still talk to my platoon sergeant from when I was in Iraq. He's like 70-something years old now.
Thank God Bear's not here there, Shadow.
Dated a chick from Thailand.
You'd be like, sure, she was a chick? Are you sure? Are you sure? Did you?
Well, if she was under 5'6", it's probably a chick.
Sure it wasn't a lady boy? You know, what you would...
Baloney.
No,
If,
listen.
if they're Asian,
Oh, Native
why is it
American.
like
All right.
this?
Sweat lodging it.
I was going to say it's like in Aliens when the one guy talks about the Arcturian they got, and the other one's like, well, yours was a male. And the response is, well, when it's Arcturian, it don't matter. Tank Ferret presents. Well, I love ferrets, so you got me. I'm interested now.
Yeah, skinny kitties.
Yeah, they're nice. It turns out red pandas are not related to pandas at all, but they are related to ferrets. And
They
they
look like
poop
little
their own weight
raccoons.
every
Yeah,
year.
they do.
They look like raccoons with a ringtail.
Yeah, they're part of the Mastildae family, and that's like weasels and stoats and all.
Oh,
that.
fuck. I think Florida has Cootamunday now, I believe.
Half Canadian, half Thai. Okay, what is a Canadian? You mean like a British
French?
or French descent?
English?
Or you mean one of
Yeah.
the
I was
various
born in
tribes of
Newfoundland.
Indians up there? Maybe.
Newfoundland?
Yeah.
Oh, well, if you go to the Newfies, they're all like Irish. That's why when they talk, no one can understand what in the hell they say. And they actually,
Yeah.
some of them, a very rare amount of them, still
Mhm.
speak the Irish Gaelic language up there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I must stay my really English
wait to
ass down in the
go.
antebellum South.
I've been trying to get ready and go back to where I was born so I can see it. I've
Where-
never even seen that I know of because I was, a child, small toddler when I came back to the States.
Force multiplier, nice.
Is seeing the falls. I haven't seen Niagara Falls before.
Oh, is that where you're from, New York?
No, my dad was from Albany, New York. His family's from he's got family in Maine and Nova Scotia, all up in there. And my
You could be
mom's
related
family
to
is from
Condor
Oklahoma
Diem.
and Texas. Do what?
You could be related to Condor Diem.
Oh.
He lives in Nova Scotia.
He does?
That'd be cool, though, if you were related to Condor.
No,
Well,
never mind.
I did the Ancestry DNA thing, so.
I have visited my homeland. I spent a week in Frankfurt in 92 or 93. And ethnically, I'm predominantly German, which was a real surprise since I thought I was Irish my whole life.
Oh,
Yeah, I have
ethnically, all the
Irish-
English are from there, so.
Yeah, I have an Irish last name, so I honestly thought I was Irish.
Mhm.
And then I
Oh.
did the blood work, and they're like, "No, you're German."
That means one of your protos had only a female line left that married into it. So
Or yeah, and where the Russian come from, I have no idea. But I do
It's-
know I have an uncle a few generations back whose name was Constantine. So probably from there, because Constantine is a very common name for you know.
Did you have one of those last names that got like anglicized? So like it didn't look German?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
The original spelling of my name was Macaiodh. The current spelling is Mckee.
Hmm.
And they both mean the same thing, son of the fire. Which is why me becoming a firefighter is kind of fate, I guess, since I was already the son of fire.
Yeah.
But Irish, yeah, 4%. Which is about everyone in America.
I'm 5% Italian.
I am of no bloodline south of like Berlin. Every bit of my blood,
1% Greek.
yeah,
Well-
every bit of my blood is from around that sea there.
Yeah.
What is Baltic? It's
Mhm,
German,
yep.
Dane,
Oh, the Balti.
Swede,
That's, you got a little bit of a
Russian.
Baltic. What is it?
I was telling some people because mine's basically two different groups.
It's around Lithuania.
Except for the 5% Italian, and they said it looks like your grandmother probably went to Italy for spring break. That's
Oh,
what
my
someone
goodness.
said. I just laughed. I thought that was so funny. But yeah, I'd have to get my paper out and tell you exactly what it is. But most of people, when they do it, it's like 4 or 5 different, things. Mine isn't. It's just 2. So it's very, very, on the narrow or whatever. So it wasn't a lot
Well,
of.
Shadow, you should go get that done, Shadow.
Tank
'Cause-
Ferret, kind of my maternal great grandmother fled what they call Ukraine now during the revolution and went to New York. So my pops was born on Jewel Street in Queens, New York.
Whoa,
And I went up there one time with him to see New York City.
that
And
is
I'll tell you, it was
territory.
an amazing visit at that time. I'd never want to go back, and no way I'd want to live there.
That's a
But
rough neighborhood, man. That's a rough area.
he lived not very far from the bodega where 50 Cent got ganked. So, like literally like across the street and down the block, But yeah, they were what tankies call kulaks, which meant that their family owned property and were kind of wealthy. So,
I knew that was coming.
Over, if you were a kulak, you basically got killed or fled. And they fled to Germany and then from Germany to New York. And their name was Smaslovich. And in America, it's Sims. Because
That's
apparently
my
whoever
mother's
was
maiden
at
name.
Ellis Island was like, I ain't spelling that shit. You're Sims now. Get out of here. Man, life is funny. I was actually raised Jewish until I guess I was 30 something. And then something happened and I ended up being Orthodox Christian. I know what happened. It was my dad and I were sitting out in the yard and we saw a jet go over and he said, you know what the good thing about being Jewish is? And I said, what? He said, no matter what country you fly over, if you get shot down, someone will always hide you. And I said, doesn't that mean that they're traitors to the country they're in? And now he and I are both Orthodox Christian. Scots Irish, that's everybody in Kentucky, where I'm from. I thought I would be Scots Irish and Irish, but no, I'm German somehow.
Yeah,
Not even
we had
German.
to.
Not even German, Germanic.
Yeah, it's just a cluster of English, Anglican,
Like
the
all
pseudo-Saxon.
whatever Germanic is. That's what I
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Slav.
Wow.
But anyway, yeah, my people have been in America since 1670.
Yeah, since whenever the war ended, the parliamentarians versus the royalists,
Yeah, because
we
my
lost, so
is not
we had to go.
blood related to me.
Royalists
My
lost, so we
biological-
dipped.
Sorry.
That was my family background. That's
My
why I thought they were Polish.
biological father left when I was like 6, and my mom remarried the guy I called dad. But his family and my family, on my maternal side, have both been in that part of Kentucky since before the United States existed. When they moved to where they
Kentucky.
moved, it was part of the Crown Colony of Virginia, because they hadn't even split the state between Virginia and Kentucky yet. Because originally the Crown Colony of Virginia went all the way to the Mississippi. So now you know more about me than anybody ever wanted to.
And your booty.
Moved to Mexico,
Oh, wait, we learned about your back crack.
but oh yeah, I'm cursed with that. Maybe if I did more squats. But when I work out, I usually use the dumbbells.
I'm telling you, James, you got to get that booty, man. If there's some squish on that booty, women won't leave it alone.
I've been married for 23 years. I'm not going anywhere. And if she ever goes anywhere, I'm not dating again. I will move
Well-
to a cave and become an
Well,
ascetic.
she loved you, but apparently she didn't love you for your ass because you didn't have.
Well,
Yeah, see? Get you a booty and she's going to be all over it.
but men have more than a butt.
Yeah, but you could have a booty too, man.
And she's a Dane, so she keeps me organized and moving in the right direction. And she keeps our appointments like it's a freaking rail system. You know what I'm saying? Like everything is timed around this house. We all have the jobs we do. It's just like, so my life is organized, because if I were left to my own devices, I don't know, I'd probably just starve or something. I don't know.
Oh, you'd be able to survive.
I would, I joke, but I am very impetuous, and my wife is the exact opposite. So she reins me in so that I don't just go to the gun store and buy like a $5,000 rifle for no reason.
Well, that's why they always say opposites attract, because you usually marry someone opposite of you, so you're balanced.
Well, she looked it up because women do this. I hate to generalize, but it's true. Our sun signs apparently are very compatible.
Mhm.
I'm an Aries, born April 5. She is a Aquarius. And apparently for some reason that's a good match, but I can't tell you why.
Well, I found my estimate for my it says you have 3, and then it says and 10 genetic groups. It says I have 48% Irish, Scottish, and Welsh,
So Kel,
46% English, and 5.2% Italian. So that's me.
so
That's
you are almost 95% Celtic.
Mhm.
Because when they say British, unless they're thinking Norman British or Saxon British, that
Yeah.
only the Britons, and they were a Celtic tribe.
Yep.
Mhm.
Except they spoke Goetic Celtic instead of
Yeah, that weird Goelia or whatever
which
it's
is what the
called.
Welsh do. The Welsh
Yeah.
language is Goetic Celt, and their whole language is, let's see how many L's we can put into every freaking word next to each other. You know? So you end up with guys named Llewellyn with like 3 L's at the front of it.
Those are some crazy road signs there too.
Yeah,
the
that's
one
to
really
make the name look less feminine.
Whereas Gaelic Celtish or Gaelic Celt is the family group from Ireland and Scotland, because a lot of people don't know this, but a long time ago the Irish invaded Scotland and wiped everyone there out. And the very word Scot in the ancient Irish language means pirate or raider. So Scots, though they don't want to hear about it, they're actually Irish. And the original people who lived there, the Picts, they're actually extinct because of the Irish. So, some wild
But
shit.
guess what? My genetic groups, it says this. My genetic groups are Southern USA, Northeastern and Midwestern USA and Canada, Ontario, and Northeastern and Midwestern USA.
My
So there you go. That's my genetic.
My groups are from southeast Pennsylvania to Kentucky. So basically, wherever there was ever coal in the ground, that's where I was.
Yeah.
So, and my grandpa was a coal miner. So, I mean, you know, not quite like Loretta Lynn. I was not born a coal miner's daughter, but yeah.
But thank goodness, because you're not a daughter.
You never know these days.
You ain't got the booty for it.
Yeah,
I
you
ain't
have
got
a
the booty
booty.
for it. I could probably fit into an A cup though, or at least a sports bra. Because at one time I used to have a chest, and you know what happens when you get really big working out and then you don't work out?
It falls to the waist.
James, who told that joke on your stream that one time is why'd the mermaid wear seashells? Because her tits were too big for bee shells. Who the fuck told that joke?
Haas told that joke.
That was him? Okay.
Really kind of weird dad joke.
I never heard that before.
That shit had me just gone, dude.
My brother is a connoisseur of dad jokes. It's like the thing he loves the most. So, you know. But thankfully, Ferret, I wish I knew who you were. Maybe are you another guy that got sent here by Razor Fist? Because Razor Fist has sent a lot of people. The only reason I have the subscribers I have is Razor Fist
And Orthodox Meme Squad.
and the Orthodox Meme Squad, because
You
I'm
got-
there and
You
the
got
guy who
fans
runs-
over there, dude. Like,
Yeah, the guy who runs the Orthodox Meme Squad shouted me out multiple times. We've chatted. Plus, I bought some stuff from him, and he sent me a little thanks, bro. You know, so like the American Orthodox shirts I wear sometimes, that's from him. And we gamed together. There was like this medieval combat game where you ran around with a sword trying to kill each other, and he and I played that together too.
Well, that's good. Sounds like fun.
What is a sack of crap? Who? Razor Fist? I like Razor Fist. I don't know what you're talking about. But yeah.
yeah.
Oh, my arch nemesis is Whiskey Tank Ferret. I can't drink it. I can't drink brown alcohol at all. It makes me feel invulnerable, and also like I want to test that invulnerability. And that never ends well, which is why I have 10 arrests, no convictions from bar fighting and stuff.
Oh man,
Now,
I've only got 3.
I can drink half a gallon of vodka and barely fill it. Oh, you're a fan of Janet. Okay.
Yeah,
well,
I waved at him. So,
okay, so Tank Ferret, that just proves you got good taste, that you're a fan of
Mhm.
Janet and not me, because you know, she's a lot prettier than I am, and she talks about a lot smarter shit. Usually I'm
Well,
on some
some
rampage
of my
about
stuff, I don't
hyperbole.
always talk about it. I did Cosmic Chat the other night, and I was dressed up as my original form.
Cosmic Chat. What do you
Yeah, it
mean?
was my green with my white hair and my antenna, and I talked about the trip around the moon.
Were you talking
Yeah,
about did you dress up like an Endorian? Like paint
No.
your face?
You haven't
blue?
seen my alien outfit before?
I think the only outfit I've really seen
That's what
you
my friends
wear
told
is
me.
like Elvira, right?
That was my Halloween costume.
I remember the
I'll
Elvira
send
one.
you a picture. I'll send you a picture.
Okay.
I'll
And I
get-
was going to ask you, did you ever watch that Russian movie, The Vikings? That I sent you the link.
Not yet. Bruce, you got to tell Bruce. He's stuck right now on all Clint Eastwood movies right now. That's all
Well, I
right.
don't blame him. Clint Eastwood is a
So,
national treasure.
Until that's over, I don't see us doing much.
If he plans on watching every Clint Eastwood movie, he'll never be over.
I know that's what I told him. So he
I
is
think
gonna
Hang 'em
try.
High is my favorite.
Outlaw Josie
We did
Wells.
hang him high last
Outlaw
week.
Josie Wells.
Yeah, I think if I had to pick one, it'd be Hang 'em High.
I like the fact that the Outlaw Josie Wells is like serious, but it has a lot of comedic breaks in it. So
Mhm.
I mean, I can't really watch those movies anymore, or try not to, because like when I got out of the dentist was like, half of this damage is not from cigarettes, it's from cigars. It was like, so stop them. And that is exactly the cigars I smoke, are the Italian air drieds they smoke in the spaghetti westerns.
I've never smoked, so
Oh, well, lucky you. God.
Yeah,
I
but
did
I'm sympathetic
love
to
the shit.
people who have, because I mean,
So it's hard to watch them now because I can't have those
and
cigars
when I
anymore.
was a kid, Skillet, like everything on TV, people were smoking. They were smoking in commercials for pizza. It's like everywhere. I remember going into a Pizza Hut and there being like ashtrays on the tables. Like it was weird. Like in the 70s and early 80s, it was like all of your heroes on every movie smoked. It was just what it was, Clint Eastwood rolling his own,
Yeah.
this, that.
What year was that? Maybe it was 2004 or 3 in the state of Georgia. They did the statewide no smoking inside, and we were in a Waffle House, and they just came by at midnight and just picked up the ashtrays. They were like, "I'm sorry, y'all. You got to go outside now." It was
Now,
kind of a
Outlaw
moment for
Josie
us.
Wells, my favorite character in there besides Josie Wells is the damn Indian chief,
Hmm.
Chief Joseph. is hilarious. Every scene he's in, he stills, and he is just hilarious. He's funny. And the shit that goes, like when Clint Eastwood wakes up in the middle of the night to go over there and try and sleep with that female Indian woman, and when he lifts up her blanket, Chief Joseph's under it. And Clint Eastwood's like, well, and Chief Joseph's like, I guess I'm not as old as I thought. And Clint Eastwood just lowers the blanket and goes back to his bed, you know? Or when he shoots the 3 Yankee soldiers, but he only shoots 2. And the third one had to drop on him, but gets killed. And Chief Joseph's like, you see that? I saved your life. And Clint Eastwood's like, I knew you had that guy. He didn't know, but Joseph was there. And when Joseph's like, I'm Cherokee, we're the civilized tribe. White man's been sneaking up on us forever. And Clint Eastwood's like, sounds like you and I got a problem with the white man. Because as a Confederate soldier that refused to surrender, I mean, he is being hunted. And ended up putting together a whole wagon train of misfits. You know, he had Indians and Mexicans and people from Kansas, for God's sake. If you
Sounds
don't
like a
know that,
barn making.
the Civil War started in Kansas and Missouri about 5 years before you think the Civil War started, because people in Missouri and Kansas were constantly raiding and killing each other over the whole issue of secession or not, like way before the actual war started. So there was a lot of hatred there. Favorite Russian movie is The Beast. Oh yeah, that is a good movie, but boy, you are going back in time for that one. That one come out like 30 years ago, at least 30 years ago, but it's a great movie. Russians in Afghanistan in a tank. They had one of the best sayings ever in that movie is like, out of fuel, become a pillbox. Out of ammo, become a bunker. Out of time, become a hero. Because I guess that was the Russian tankers thing, you know. You always fight. Yeah, the Kansas bloodbath and all that, you know, yeah, that shit was real deal stuff. But anyway, so I'll probably, Janet, watch whatever you were ranting about tonight to catch up on all this shit. I mean, other than catching clips of things on like Salty Cracker or Razor Fist, I've actually kind of tried to disconnect from politics and stuff as much as possible because it just pisses me off. So I'm like, why am I going out of my way to piss myself
That's
off?
understandable. A lot of people are burned out on that kind of stuff. So,
Well,
you know.
You
No,
and I
I
probably
agree.
remember a time when everything wasn't politics. And
Well.
you could be a Democrat or a Republican.
See, I do. I
Shit.
play games. Tomorrow I'll be playing, you know, the DD with Bruce all day long.
Mhm.
And Sunday I'll do the movie review. We watch a movie and then we talk about it and I dress in theme or whatever, or as a character. And then, you know, Monday I might do music videos. I got the late night circus where I dress in costume and talk about creepy stuff. And then I have Cosmic Chat where I dress up as my alien character and talk about stuff to do with UFOs, abductions, things like that. And then Thursday I interview people, you know, on my after hours. And then Friday I do the shit show.
Well,
So
that's very
I do
cool.
all kinds of stuff, and I do crafts. I've done streams where I'm building with Legos.
Yeah, I've seen the
So
Legos.
yeah, so
Um,
I've done
well,
most
when
of
you do your creepy show, you might want to, if you want to. Obviously, I'd never
it.
tell you
You
what
can.
you would
Did you
do.
watch my video?
Did you mention Kentucky?
Kentucky?
Yeah. Everything scary happens in Eastern
No, I
Kentucky.
haven't done that yet. I usually pick a certain story or whatever, and I go around it. So if someone
Yeah,
sends me a story,
just type in YouTube Appalachian stories,
okay.
and you'll find out about like the actual devil, cannibals, witches,
Yeah, because in Arkansas,
various
they have
kinds of monsters.
there's something about some lights that come in and out of the woods and follow people around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we have rules. If you're in the forest in Eastern Kentucky and you hear a baby crying in the middle of the night or laughing, you ignore it and keep going
Yeah.
because and this shit come down from the Cherokee. God only knows what they thought they were dealing with, but they also told us about the Wampus cat, which is a 6-legged big mountain lion that
Mhm.
used to be a female Indian, and she was told not to go watch the shamans doing a ritual, but she went anyway. So the shamans cursed her, and she became a Wampus cat. And now her or a descendant of her still roams Appalachia eating men.
Mhm.
And then dogmen somehow made it to Kentucky from Michigan. And then Bigfoot's down there, but the Cherokee call him the hairy man. And our version of Bigfoot is not nice. Like he'll kill you and eat you. And then you've got the stories of degenerate families full of inbred cannibals. So basically the hills have eyes, except it's the hollers have eyes. And then in Harlan County, there's Bethel, Kentucky, which was founded by Satanists. And like a couple hundred straight up Satanists moved in there and founded a town.
Any Loch Ness monster type creatures?
Giant catfish
Okay.
that can eat you. There's always been the legend that people have been ate by these giant catfish. Now, I've seen catfish like 3 feet long. I've never seen one that could swallow a man, because they'd have to be like 10 feet long, wouldn't they? But I know in Europe they got catfish that'll straight up kill you, though.
Yeah, that's what they said that got that bridge jumper in Bosnia.
Yeah, they got catfish over there that are straight up.
Yeah, that's a horrible video to watch. I mean, it's not gory. It's just he did this awesome jump off the bridge, and the crowd was cheering. And he just went underwater, and that was it. They never found him
again. Well, I've heard stories about the intake areas at the nuclear power plants that are by lakes.
Yeah.
Because there's catfish that just get as big as a VW bug, basically, because they just lay there and the food just comes by and all they do is eat, and they just sit there and they just get giant. The divers that go and clean the vents and stuff say they've seen them down there. So huge giant catfish.
I have not, Hardwick, read those specifically, but I might look into it. Unless the guy has a YouTube channel, because there is a guy on YouTube that tells like those old Eastern Kentucky, West Virginia stories.
Mhm.
And I do remember he mentioned he wrote books. So that could be the guy I'm talking about. But I mean, literally, if you just type in Appalachian horror stories, there's probably 100 channels.
Yeah, Shadow sent me one. I just thanked him for it. So I'll have to look at that alien thing.
Oh shit, in Kentucky we got aliens. Apparently a whole family of hillbillies had a shootout with aliens like in 1960 or some shit.
Mm-hmm.
And the cops showed up and there was tracks on the mud and this, that, and the other. He died. Yeah, there's a guy who also writes like those Appalachian books, and he's got a YouTube channel. And like there was like 12 people in the house that all swear to God they were exchanging shots with these little aliens. But the way they describe them, they kind of sound like the moon-eyed people that the Cherokee talk about, which is like small albino people with blue eyes that live in caves because they can't stand sunlight. And the Cherokee say they used to live above ground, but they hid during the day. But then the Cherokee fought a war against them, and they went underground. I don't know. But then if you listen to
never know. You never know.
To the guys that did the Hellier, Kentucky thing,
and never say never.
They claimed that the United States Army Special Forces went into deep caves in Kentucky and got into a fight with reptilians. And that's been buried in history, right? What I do know is Mammoth Cave is around 500 miles long, they think. And there is a cluster of disappearances around the cave systems. So
I thought I heard someone snore.
no, that was Skillet gun agreeing.
Oh, I thought
I'm eating Nilla wafers.
No, I thought maybe someone else is sleeping, because I've heard that happen many times watching movies. Bruce falls asleep.
Bruce would fall asleep all the time. We do like a stream on freaking Legion of Myth. Bruce would be on camera.
I can believe
He'd be
it.
like, Bruce, wake up. And he wouldn't. He'd just be like, all right.
So
But
I've heard
we were
of all
drinking
things.
a lot back then too.
Mhm.
So
Yeah. So
like Bruce would always be drinking his beer, and I was slamming double shots of vodka. And,
I
Max
never drink
Lau
when
was
I'm
drinking
gonna
friggin' some
stream.
kind of
I never
whiskey.
drink any alcohol at all.
Oh man, you don't know what you're missing.
No, I drink alcohol. I just don't do it while I'm streaming.
Oh God, I do.
Now, the only time I did it one time, and that was when I can't remember what his channel name is. I'd have to look it up. I got invited to do the gaming thing where we were playing like DD, but it was with it was a drinking game.
Oh, okay.
Who was that I did it with?
It might have been Max Lau. He had the rule where every time anyone mentioned Earth Dawn, everyone had to drink.
Well, it was some kind of game, and people by the super chats and stuff, depending on the stuff, we all had to have our alcohol sitting there. We all had to do shots and stuff, whatever it was we had. So I was a little wasted when that was over.
See that what Hardwick
That was
just said, that sounds super awesome. I'm gonna have to definitely look that up. I mean, I have like 12 points on my
That sounds
Audible
like
account.
a great show for me to do too, with the late night
Yeah.
circus.
Yeah, Shadow
Well, you
was
can
on
be
the
a freak
Max's show
on
when Bruce fell asleep
purpose.
under his
Yeah.
desk.
Those
Those
are
were good
fun.
shows, and that's what I was saying earlier. I used to love to go on Max's Friday night shows because it was just craziness. But now he's being a lot more orderly about things, and you know, I have no negative thing to say about him. But I mean, it's just to me not as fun. But I'm gonna get out of here. It's 3.5 hours, and
Yeah. I gotta go get something to eat. I'm starving before I go to
Yeah.
bed.
well. And so all of you guys who joined me on the panel and everybody who dropped in, I mean, I really appreciate it. Awesome.
Yeah. Good times.
It was fun.
And I did get all of my Reaper sci-fi vehicles built for BattleTech. So that's cool.
Oh.
They're
I
the
got
same
4.
scale, so I'm using
Well,
them.
make sure you watch that video so you can see what I look like in my alien costume.
I am going to. I think
Okay.
on my Discord, I've still got the picture of you as Elvira you sent to me.
Yeah, I've got that on my selfies and stuff that I have on my Discord too.
Yeah.
I
And
just
I'm going to
wanted
have to have a word with Bruce about watching Vikings.
yeah.
'Cause It's
Tell
a
him we need
Russian
to
movie
watch
made in
it.
2016 about Vladimir of the House of Rurik, who went on to become Vladimir the Great, first
Yeah.
king of all the Kievan Rus. And it explains how it all happened. It's really good, but it's like Conan, but in Russia. Anyway, though, good night, everyone. Thank you for showing
Good night,
up.
James.
And you
Good
guys
night,
are on the
later.
channel anytime. I always
Thank you
tell
very
everyone
much.
that anytime I'm on, feel free
Yeah.
to jump in. Shadow
Yeah.
hiding out in the audience, but I'll probably be on his show sometime this week. So